Red, blue, purple light, friends, facts. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red and blue, purple light, friends, facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego. Then I open my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. We gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts. Peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light to the family. Peace, love and light to the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.
Peace to the family, peace to you and yours, peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Melanin Mondays. And you are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar. All right, Brother Red Pillar. And I will be joined by my illustrious guest this evening. All right, we have a monumental show planned. We have a monumental show on deck for the family pulling up. This is The Rise of the Matriarchs, featuring RV BEY, Sister Ciasia, JAIY, and my good sister KAREEMAH M. BEY. All right. So what we're about to do is we're going to get into the roll call. Let's get into the roll call, and then we will go ahead and bring our guests into the building. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see where we're tapping in from. Where is the family tapping in from? Let's do the roll call and see where we at. All right. Shout out to the family from Charlotte. All right. Peace to the Charlotte family. Peace to the South Carolina family. All right. Peace to the College Park family. Nashville is in the building. We got Harlem. This is the first time hearing this. Calcium, New York. That's a new one. Calcium. You dig? Atlantis is in the building. All right. We got NY and South Carolina in the building. East Flatbush, ATL, Tampa. Where we at? Tampa. Land of Flowers. Hampton, Virginia. All right. A lot of SC pulling up. I'm okay. I see y'all. I see you. SC is heavy up in this thing. What we talking about? Jersey. All right, Seattle is here, Sedona, St. Pete, Florida, Texas is in the building, Palm Beach in the house, Mississippi, Rome, Georgia. We got Cleveland, Ohio, ATL, Shawty, Portland, Oregon, Rome, Georgia, Connecticut, CT in the building. Shout out to CT. You dig? Seattle. All right. Calcium, New York is by Fort Drum, New York. Okay. Cocoa, Florida, Sebastian, Florida, Sacramento, Greenwood, Orlando, Florida. The Land of Flowers is here. Oakland, California. Vancouver's are here. Tampa, Lexington, Chicago, Florida. All right. Philly. Shout out to Philly. Shout out to Buffalo. Rough Buff. Peace to the Moors. Peace to the Mobites. You dig? Peace to everybody pulling up in the building. I could feel your energy. Love and light to the family. And that tune that you just heard that we opened up with, that is from the 44 Tops. That's Purple Like Prince, the Fax remix. All right. Shout out to the 44 Tops. Okay. So, without any further ado, let's get into this show tonight. All right. Let's get into the show tonight. This is how we're going to do it too. I want to let the family know that we will be answering questions. We will be doing a Q&A. We will be answering questions from the audience. If you have any questions, please have them written down. So when we turn to the audience for their Q&A, when we have the Q&A segment and we go to the audience, you'll be able to drop your question in the chat room. Okay. Please, while the presentation is taking place, while we're building on the panel, try not to be mistaken for a troll. Okay. Because we do treat trolls kind of heavy handed when it comes to respecting the peace. Okay. We have Arizona in the building. We got Philly in the building. All right. We got Maryland in the building. You dig? We got the Bay Area in the building. So shout out to everybody surrounding us. It's a beautiful thing. I'm talking about, to have a global audience tapped in and just vibing with you on a Monday night. How do I send a donation? Right. The best nation is a donation, Brother Jeff. The Cash App is right there on the scroll. We appreciate the family for supporting independent media, okay, that stand on their own. And we do not seek, nor do we shake a cup for the machine or for corporate America. We don't do that. You know what I mean? We're not compromised. Flint Town. This channel and this platform in this show is sponsored by the people. Okay. And before I even continue, with that being said, let us get a word from our sponsors. Let us get a word from our sponsors. All right. We have to go to our sponsors and let them talk to you real quick. And then we will open up the floor for our guests for this evening. Okay. So give me 1 second. Let me pull that video up. Peace, love, and light to the family. All right. All right. We'll get back to our sponsors. We will get back to the sponsors. All right. Let's see. All right. So let's go ahead and open up the line. All right. And bring in our guest for this evening. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, give me 1 second. All right. So, first and foremost, our first guest I want to introduce you to is our good sister, Sister JAIY. Okay. And Sister JAIY came into the Moorish Divine and National Movement in 2009 after watching Mother Roz on YouTube. A year later, she traveled to RV BEY's Moors Heritage and History School sessions held in New York at the National Theater. She has her fair share of battles in the court arena, since she also focused her studies on the civic side. In 2016, she shifted her energy to the divine side of the movement and started studying astrology and the Circle 7 Holy Quran. In 2022, she started teaching Circle 7 Sundays on RV BEY. her go-to meeting platform. She did so for those who are in and out of the temple, for it is spiritual enlightenment for all. In addition, she taught a children's circle 7 class for Canaanland Moors. Tonight, she is here to remind everyone to listen to that still small voice that is inside of all of us. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you our good sister, JAIY. Peace.
Peace, peace, Islam, love and peace to all.
Yes,
Um,
indeed.
yes, I just wanted to say when I speak on reminding us to listen to that still small voice inside, that
Yes.
is from the Circle 7. It's from chapter 8.
Oh,
And it
beautiful.
says,
Okay.
and it says Allah, and it's number 7. Allah's meeting place with man is in the heart, and in a still small voice he speaks, and he who hear is still. And so I just wanted to just introduce myself with that, because to remind everyone here that we're going to have topics, we're going to speak on certain things, but remember that none of this matter if you don't have
Yes,
yourself together. So peace, Islam, brother. Thank you for
indeed.
having me here. I'm so honored. And
Oh, I'm
I
honored to
just,
have you.
yes, so I just can't
Yes.
wait to get started. And honors to all the Moors, all the people, everyone that's here on the platform, everyone that's listening. We appreciate it, and I look forward from learning from you all. Peace.
No doubt. All right. And our next guest, ladies and gentlemen, is KAREEMAH BEY. She is a mother, a Moorish adept, master, alchemist, and a teacher. She's been involved in uplifting humanity through the Moorish divine and national movement of the world for over 40 years. She is Clock of Destiny, Great Seal, bona fide, and holds other esoteric degrees. She is an Eastern philosopher and a student of the universe. Come on now. Ladies and gentlemen, Moors and Mobites, I introduce to you KAREEMAH M. BEY. Peace, love, and light.
Love and light to all. So thank you for having me here tonight on
Yes.
this moon day.
Yes,
This is a
indeed.
special occasion. So what I want to say is that was a great intro. I appreciate that.
Indeed.
That's
Indeed.
my humble. But one thing I want to say is that does not wisdom call out? Does not understanding raise her voice? At the highest point along the way, where paths meet, she standeth. And with that, I yield. Islam.
Islam, indeed. Appreciate you. Honors. Thank you for pulling up and being here with us tonight. Indeed. We are awaiting our other guests to pull up in the building. While we wait for our guests to pull up in the building, is there anything that either one of you want to share with the audience?
No, there's nothing. Islam, this Sister JAIY speaking. There's
Yes.
nothing I want to share, but I do want to just give a shout out. With I'm just looking through the chat. I'm just saying, shout out to everyone. I mean, the chat is on fire. Y'all energy is amazing. I'm just ready to really get into it. So I'm just giving a shout out to everyone in the chat. The chat is on fire, and
Yes,
Islam
it
to you
is.
all.
Yes, it is. One of the things that may have this chat very enthusiastic is the word that I will use is over the past few weeks we've been going down the Moorish I won't call it a rabbit hole, but we've been traveling through the Moorish highways and byways, and the audience is very, very interested in this new information that they're hearing for the first time. So it is I'm honored to be able to hold court with the mothers and whatnot, with the goddesses, with the Mobites, and it's something that I told them that I was gonna do. So the fact that we're here doing it, it means a lot. You know what I mean? So once again, they're excited. They're as enthusiastic as I am. So that's that energy, that's that electricity that you're feeling and whatnot. You know.
Well, we appreciate you, brother, for just having this platform for all of us, and especially for the mothers. It is our time, and the matriarch is on the rise, as the title.
Yes.
So we appreciate you having this for us, Islam.
Indeed, I appreciate you. Right. I appreciate you. Um, okay, so give me 1 minute. I have to send a link out. I just saw that I sent it to the wrong. Being fast, I sent it to the wrong thing. Gmail.com. All right. Yep. So, okay, we have 200 people in the building. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. I just sent the link out, so we'll be good. Let's start the questions. We could start us, while we wait for our other guests to come. I'm not going to initially get into the conversation for tonight, but I will begin a preliminary conversation with my guests. I don't want to be rude. Um, Sister Karima, I remember our days in New York City and Harlem in the National Theater. Those were considered to be the golden days, right? A lot of Moors were pulling up to class every Wednesday. For people in the audience who may not be familiar what I'm speaking of, I was a student of the Moorish Civics and Heritage class for about 7 to 8 years. Um, I don't think I missed more than 4 classes throughout all of those years. We would be there every Wednesday. We were able to learn from brother master teacher Taj Tariq Bey. We were able to learn from Ras Mariah Bey. We were able to learn from brother Abdullah Mosley Bey. I would want to ask you, Sister Karima, from your perspective, of course, how have things, how do you, how is your perception that things have changed for the better years later? Or how have things changed in your eyes, from your perspective, just in terms of the movement and the intensity in which the movement has either grown or receded?
From my perspective, those well, let me say it this way. From those days, I was chopping wood and carrying water, right? So, from what I see now, I see that the mother, right?
Yes.
And often I go to the zodiac because that's the beginning and that's the end. So the mother being Cancer, right?
Yes.
It's the chariot. She's That's the chariot, right? So when she moves as a cardinal sign, which is happening right today, the whole wheel moves,
Mm.
right? So it's a gradual movement because we often don't see it because we have been buried, right, in an avalanche of BS, right? I call it
Yes.
BS, but
Distractions.
yeah, but really BS means belief systems,
I
right?
like that.
So when we can come out of that, then we will see. But there is unity just by you having this show, by the mother having her platform and continuing to do what she do, and the truth will find itself through every crack and crevice. So
Mm.
that's what's happening now. So we can, if you still at it, you want to still be part of the construct, then you won't see the unity. You'll think the things are the same when we
Right.
know that change is always constant, right? It's always constant.
Always.
Right. So if you come across people that tell you, hey, never change, then you need to move away from those people because they want you to stay the same. We are all individuals that are on, we are travelers throughout this universe,
Yes.
right? And sometimes we are conscious, sometimes we're not, because we have forgotten who we are,
You are.
right? We've forgotten. So when we can shake the amnesia, you know how when you wake up, you a little groggy, hey, I had a good night's sleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to not, yeah, we have to just be who we are. Wake up, stand on our own 2 feet, right? Because it's all about you.
Yes.
You means your own universe. Everything is about you.
You.
That's it.
Mm, beautiful. I appreciate that. Thank you for putting that into perspective. Okay, let me go ahead and prepare the floor for our next guest, ladies and gentlemen. Um, our next guest, like I said, I am a humble student of Moorish classes on Wednesday. Those were very instrumental in my upliftment. Okay, and just the fabric of who I am today is owed to those classes and those lessons and the history that I was able to live through over those past years and whatnot. So the sister that I'm about to bring on, this mother that I'm about to introduce you to, she's my master teacher. She was the one who helped to lift me up and wake me up and give me a lot of information that I needed at a very opportune time. So Sister Rosmariah Bey is an author, a publisher, a teacher, and an astrologer. Prior to her coming into heritage and history regarding Moabite Moors as the mothers and fathers of civilization, principles on this earth plane, she wrote and sold radio advertisement, hosted a local weekly live TV broadcast, and founded a local community newspaper to share positive information. She was also one of 10 founders of a public charter school and president of a local NAACP chapter. Amongst a host of books that Roz Mariah has authored and published, we have Zodiacal View on You and I, on You 1 and 2, and that is her fundamental work in regards to cosmological science, which is the source information of true family and family planning, a truth about your hair, and are you in denial of your ancestry? One reflects the myriad of topics one would re-examine as truth, inheritive, culture, and history. She Redeems is her noted work of enlightenment regarding women and how the suppression of their true nature and responsibility must be addressed, as it is at the base of the fall and rise of generations and civilization. And without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you, okay, Mother Rosmariah Bey in the building.
All right, love and peace to everyone. Thank you for that.
Thank
Um, uh,
you.
Greetings to you, greetings to the panel, and I'm glad that I'm here. Kind
Yes, yes,
of
yes.
leaf going down, so I couldn't get in at first, but here I am, and I thank you again for having us here.
I'm
I do.
glad you made it through the little obstacles that is StreamYard and you were able to make it through. It's
Yeah,
such a pleasure seeing you. You know, my face is lit up right now. I'm grinning like a little child and whatnot. You know, it's always a pleasure to see you, Sister Roz. How are you today?
I am fine, and it's good to hear you say, you bring back those memories from New York, 125th at the National Theater when we were doing classes, and of course, you also was on the floor and presented some classes too in history, as
You
you say.
remember that?
I do remember that because I think you said it since you already said it. You were it was a time for you where you were coming into, I suppose, your awareness, and
Yes.
so everything just came together. We're like, oh yeah, sure, because that's what it was about at the time. So
And you gave me the opportunity. You gave me the floor. You gave me 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I had a 600-page presentation that I put together based off of what I was learning and based off of what I was being exposed to in class and whatnot. And I promise you, it was almost like a ritual. It helped put me back together. It was a repairing of things that were shattered in my brain and in my memory and whatnot. So I was so excited. And I always tell people, because they don't, a lot of the audience are new to
Mm.
consciousness and they're new to the expression of what consciousness is. So there's certain periods that they don't they weren't here for. And I try to explain that to be put on the stage in front of the camera was real big before anybody could just do it, right? There was no live. You couldn't say, you know what, I'm gonna go live and talk to 5 people today. Like, in order to be in front of an audience, you had to be chosen from those who were already on the stage, who had the audience, because to be put on one of those stages, it was like, it was a stamp, you know what I mean? It was what everybody in the audience wanted. That's what we yearn for. Not everybody, but I talked to a lot of people in the audience. They wanted to get on that stage. So thank
Those were
you.
teachers like yourself.
Huh?
Those who were teachers like yourself
Yes, and
had
I
something
thank
to
you for
share.
giving, yeah, thank you for believing in me and giving me that opportunity, because by getting on that stage, it helped me to believe in myself even more. And it just helped to plant the seeds of the oak tree that has grown today. You
Yeah.
feel me? So appreciate you, love, for that opportunity. Shout out to everybody who was a part of that. Brother Gene, your son, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Bambata, everybody,
Yeah.
everybody who played a part in keeping those doors open in Harlem and feeding millions of Moors and whatnot the food that they needed at a very critical time. Honors.
And it was a very critical time, and of course, we didn't know that. We was just coming and being guided by the universe and the spirit on what our sojourn. We had no idea what that would really mean at that time, and thereby after that time. So it was divinely done, and it was critical at the time. Yes,
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And here we are, here we are at this juncture.
full circle.
The students are still coming through the doors. The people are still yearning for the information. The students have now become teachers. You
Mm.
feel me? Those cycles have completed themselves.
Mhm.
So this is a beautiful day and time that we're in. Um, so yeah, we're gonna keep it going. I have my other guest in the building, and I'm going to bring her in the on the floor. Okay, I'm gonna bring her on the floor, and then we're gonna get this thing going.
All right.
So our next guest, ladies and gentlemen, is a sister who I go way back in the days with. This sister has been on the front line. She's been standing on what they call business for a very long time, going all the way back to Newark in New Jersey. And she's currently in the South with us in the backwoods and whatnot, doing her thing. And Sister Queen Ciasia is a genealogical reconciler and a restorer of our American diaspora and heraldry. Okay, she's doing excellent work in those fields. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you for the very first time on this newer platform that we have. She's alumni. She goes back into the Blog Talk Radio days with us. But on this new platform, I'm so honored to have her here with us tonight. I want to bring forward our good sister, Queen C. Asia, in the building. Peace.
Peace and family. Hey,
Love, love, love. How you doing?
I'm great. How y'all doing? How's everybody doing? Peace to sisters.
Peace and love. Love.
Yes.
What what
Peace,
up?
peace, and love.
Love
What
and
up?
love
What
and
up,
peace.
loves?
All right.
Indeed. So
Love
I'm
we're
it.
here.
here.
Okay. Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome
Thank you.
everyone. Indeed, welcome everyone. It is it's a beautiful thing that we're able to pull this together. And I am putting out there, I am affirming that tonight will be a very powerful show. I have an audience, young students, Mobites and brothers, sisters and brothers who are very, very hungry for information. Okay. They show up every Monday and every Thursday, even Saturdays and Sundays when we do special classes. And they just, they're eager for this information. I want to kick it off and I want to set it off and I want to top it off with the most apparent question that may be on a lot of people's minds, and that's dealing with the election cycle that we are seeing today. I don't want to go for the low hanging fruit at first, but let's just get that out the way. What are your thoughts about the conditions that we find ourselves in today in this cycle? Let me just set this up before I even ask this question, because a month ago, the conversation that was being had in America, in the USA, right, and around the globe was about two old European men, right, who were vying for the quote unquote seat of power in the Oval Office, right? And then they had a vice president and everything, but they were not in the quote unquote forefront like that. In the span of about 2 weeks, everything has shifted to where the focus is now on a melanated woman. Okay. Now, of course, there's a lot of conversations about what her ethnicity is, and we're going to have that conversation tonight as well. But it has thrusted the melanated woman into the spotlight in ways that I've never seen before, because the conversation is not only about Kamala Harris, the conversation is about the Mobite, the conversation is about the melanated woman now. So I just want to know from my panelists, what are your thoughts on this new spotlight where women are being looked at as the leaders or the potential leaders of the free world?
Mm,
I'll start with you, Sister Rosmarie Bay.
yes. Okay. All right. Well, first of all, our minds have to be free. And then we can talk about the world that we're in. Um, I have a different understanding or view or thought of that, because I understand that this, first of all, is universally been prophesied to happen, right? And I meant to send there, but it out of the oral statements, it is when you see an Asiatic president or woman, either one, Asiatic, that we know about the signs of the time. So it's already has occurred. So she is not about her personally whatsoever or at all. It's about the symbolism of it and the fact that justice and that would be, we know that by Libra. She is a Libra and she is
Yes.
an Asiatic.
Yes.
They talk about, oh no, her father's Jamaican and her mother is, I don't know, whatever they say, Asiatic. The whole planet is Asia at
Right.
one time. So that's how I see that. And so it's just a sign of the times for us, and also the fact that it's the rise of the woman. Absolutely, this is where we are.
Indeed. I appreciate that. All right. I will ask Sister Ciasia.
um, like our Queen Mother said, she's symbolism,
Right.
and and based on aristocracy for us and who we are, and we are the aristocratic society of women. Us, we are the elite women of the world here in America, in the Americas, and we hold the Jamaican population on our shoulders. We carry our Caribbean sisters with us. It's the whole hemisphere that we're representing and we're standing for.
Yeah.
However, there is always a focus on the mainland woman, right? And so in this time, it is so crucial for our women, our sisters of this hemisphere, to not be entangled. You know, in scripture, there is the talk about entanglements, and I would implore all of you to write that down so you can understand why Will and Jada was used in the symbolism of entanglement. It's scriptural, and scriptural doesn't mean that it's spooky or religious, meaning it's an instruction.
Right.
And that book is instruction for us, right? I mean, didn't Killer Priest speak about it? Basic instructions, right?
Yes.
And so this was something that was left to us, but we dismissed it because there were books taken out. And because there were particular books taken out, we rebuke it, right?
Right.
But that's where our genealogy is. That's our families have these Bibles with our families in it. You know, our families carry Bibles. We need to be sitting at our grannies and them feet, or the remaining elders that are left, and you will change your entire outlook on what we actually represent when you go back to your family and speak to them great aunts, them greats while they're still here, so we can remove the rebelliousness for why a lot of us came into these communities in the first place, is we were rebelling.
Right.
And we were mad at Christianity, we were mad at the church, we were mad at our elders, and so we ran for our lives into these conscious communities, into these large cities, and we left them behind, but their word still reigns even in this time. And that's what I've done, come full 360 back, full 9,000-mile swim back to the feet of my elders. So I say that to say is it is not our job as the elite women of the world to ever be entangled in the symbolism. That is how we communicate at this level. We don't speak straight words. For us, it's signs and symbols, because we are the spiritual community. We are the hierarchy. You know, there isn't really a language that, even though we invented it, is not really a language that the common man speaks that applies to us. And I mean this. And I know that there's going to be people that's going to be offended at the air that I'm at, but this is like I told you, Red, earlier, that this is the sorcerical power that happens once you start tapping back into the records of your people. That air naturally returns, and that was what was removed from us by taking out these certain chapters and parts of the book, by having us hate what our grannies and them come from, by us resenting our upbringing, our government names, which is really our family names, our honorable names.
Right.
And so they knew that there was power in all of this for us as the piece with the magnetic. They knew that we would be activated by this. So we had to do this swim. We had to come out into the streets, come out into the world. But in order to remember who we are, we do not get entangled in words, headlines, basic man conversation. We're not mankind and we're not humanity. We are the elite group of people that understand that our conversation and our warnings and our messages come through signs and symbols, as our great mother said. So just by not being entangled in the emotionalism of it all, but holding tight to those of us who have interpreted the signs and symbols and doing the necessary work around that. Just stay out of the public fanfare and realize that when you are the elite group of people, you move from a private point of view. We deal with business, behind the scenes, like we're doing now. Even though we're on the public forum, this is our family forum, and this is behind the scenes, and that's how we're moving forward.
Excellent.
We're not in any entanglements. Yeah.
Thank you.
No
Sister
doubt.
KAREEMAH, or Mother KAREEMAH, pardon me.
Mother, sister, love and peace. Oh, so yeah, let's talk about the energy going on here, right? So if we're going to go back to Donald Trump being a Gemini, right? He's a masculine air sign. So in order to have unity, you have to have a masculine air sign, which Kamala, right? She's also, but we see her as feminine, right? We see her with these carnal eyes as feminine. But we're putting the masculine in his place so he can fall, which is going to happen, right? So this is what's happening. It's all about the energy. It's not about who she is on this plane of manifest. This has already happened, right? Whether it was her, whether it was any of us, it has to be, it's in the air, right? Everything has been destroyed by everything else but through the air. So this is why this is happening, right? That's what I see her as a breath of fresh air, right? The breath of Allah. This is what is happening now. Love and peace.
Indeed. Sister JAIY.
Peace. Wow. So y'all was just going in, huh? I want to
Right.
say, I think the number one, the biggest point that was made from this from the mothers is that we shouldn't get entangled in any of it because, and I know we spoke earlier, but because whatever's happening out there, it doesn't really, I'm not going to say it doesn't have nothing to do with us, but it do, because it's the energy happening. But also just don't lose that focus on, we have to bring it back to ourselves, right? We have to feel this energy, like Sister KAREEMAH said, it's energy happening. But what does that mean for you individually? What does that mean for your spirit? What does that mean for your mind? And so if you're so focused on outside of yourself, you're not really gonna get the message that's trying to be sent to you, or that's speaking to you in that still small voice, as I spoke about earlier.
Indeed.
You have to bring it back to self. So yes, we have these things happening. Yes, the sister is a symbol. Yes, but now you say, you know, these things, we study this, it's been written, it's in the scripture, these things were going to happen, period. But what are you going to do about it? What is your next move? What is your next focus? And that's just what I want to give. I just want to make sure people don't go so far out of themselves that they forget to do that work that still needs to be done within themselves. Islam.
Right. So not being distracted by the quote unquote bread and circus or of politics or politics or entertainment for that matter. And, not realizing that there's work to be done within.
Within the family, as the queen said, this is our family, this we public, but it's private, you know. It's public for the family. If you hear, that mean you family, that mean your
Yes.
energy is on the same level, that mean we together. And the rest of the stuff is public, and we just don't want to get so caught up into it, because they
Right.
already made their plans. They already, what they gonna do is already gonna be done.
It's already done. Right.
It's already done. So what are you going to do about it? What's your next move within your community? What's your next move within your household? What's your next move within yourself? So I just feel that sometimes we get so caught up into the distractions that we start losing focus. And I
Right.
just don't want us to lose focus on what does this mean for us as a family? What Where should we be moving? We see where they moving. Now where should we be moving?
Indeed.
Islam.
Islam. My next question has to do with something that it went mainstream all of last week. Kamala Harris invited Meg Thee Stallion to open up her rally in Atlanta. Her first rally publicly in a heavily melanated city. She decided to go with her talent as Meg Thee Stallion. Now, one of the things that kept the this situation in the headlines and a lot of people talking is it seemed to be that this was the one moment that I saw a lot of women giving a lot of heavy backlash to what they call thought culture, right? Or what they would call the inappropriate um, gyrating of Meg the Stallion on stage in front of a global audience that was, you know, both women, children, elders, and things of that nature. So it kind of pushed it into the forefront, right? And there was a lot of thought pieces and a lot of commentary online about women saying enough is enough. We're done. We're tired. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. They were like, we're finally going to step up and start saying something about this wayward culture, right? Where the people are painting our women with this generalized brush that all of our women are, you know, of a lower class, right? Just based off of the way they're carrying themselves in public and the way that they're sending out signals around the world that they are hypersexualized. So I want to know from the mothers, what is an approach, right, that one would take, okay, especially fathers out there that have daughters, and especially women who are out there who do not want to be generalized and they do not want to be put in a box and whatnot. What is a message that you would send to a young sister that's watching this out here who may be struggling with her identity? She doesn't know if she's a feminist. She doesn't know if if she wants to be hypersexualized. She's being told by a lot of different people to be hypersexualized and things of that nature is a form of liberation. And there's a lot of there's just so much different voices that are coming at her. What would be a word of advice to help a young lady to steer her in a direction to whereas she may be able to receive the type of enlightenment and the type of information that it will take to get a woman, you know, developing properly? I want to start with you, Queen Siasia, and then I'm going to go to Mother Roz, and then I will turn to Kareemah and then Sister J.
All right.
Um, you know, a lot of these girls and even myself um, turn to these groups is because they literally don't know who we are. We're so disconnected, right? And this is part of the warfare. This is part of their arrival. When they arrived, they knew that we were a clan, a nation of clans and families, right? And so they knew that that in order to penetrate us, because the war is specifically on us, right? This is all about us. This is why it's going on our land. Okay, it's not going on anywhere else. It's going on here, where our people live, where we are from, that we built. It is the motherland of the world, right? So when America falls, the whole thing shifts. All eyes on us all the time, right? And who runs that? Us. We do, right? So the clans, and we're still clans to this day, no matter how broken and dysfunctional we are. But that is the problem. We are broken and dysfunctional. And so the girls are going to their groups, and their groups are led by people like Scarlet and Glorilla, and those are their leaders. And then you got sisters that are in these sororities, and then they got their leaders and there's presidents and politicians, just based on where they are in their lives in terms of their value system and their career and what they find interesting in their lives. If it's music and if it's entertainment, then you got all these broads that's on TV that is their heads. If it's their career and it's money and it's about the bread and it's about status and power, and so sisters that are in these sororities, it would be people like Kamala and Michelle Obama and blah blah blah. Those are their leaders until you open up that photo album. Ain't that something? That's the answer for that young girl. We are so far from our backgrounds, our homes. If I put that black and white photo, I'm telling you what happens. When you go on even software like ancestry.com, and that's just the common software. Don't let me get started on going on archives.org and then actually seeing your family in museums. You see them in museums when you can't find them on record anymore because they're in a museum. Remember, we're acting like this, Red, and audience, because we don't feel dignified. Our identity is based on what we're creating for ourselves outside of our families, whether that's these groups, whether that's these entertainers, whether that's these clubs. This is what we created thinking we were slaves. But the reason why you can't find your ancestors at a certain point in time in history is because they weren't the POW status. They weren't prisoners of war. They were in the aristocracy. So you're not going to find them in the census record. You're going to find them in France.
Right.
That's where you're gonna
Right.
okay. You're not going to find them in City Hall or in the municipal records. They're going to be in Rome. They're going to be in the Vatican. Seriously. So because people don't understand American heraldry existed, it was something that was kept quiet, and that's all I got to say. So all we have to do is show the young girls the photo albums and the records. That's it. It's simple. That's how you break the chains, and then she's going to disassociate. Then you start seeing the hoodoo at work, and you're going to start seeing these girls disassociate themselves from all the identities they grabbed onto, thinking they didn't belong to anything. And then when they start seeing that their great-great-grandfather's name was Lord Belvedere of Kent County, Virginia, you see, the pride restores, and then the magic that was prevented from us experiencing, knowing that when we see those names in that nature, it reactivates us. So that's all. They just got to see the photo album and the surnames and the titles and the nobility, and it'll change the dynamic. That's all. Just see your family again.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That is on. So, and what hit me last after what I was thinking to come with is that, it looks like we need to have institutions of learning and to teach ourselves about ourselves rather than someone else. That's really what it means. That's all that it means. So I really appreciate what you're saying about a lot of things. You're not going to find them in the documents of history that they have established since they came into the fold of civilization that we help bring them into, because they are the original Slavics. You're not. So one of the things when it comes to what's being shown on the media, you keep this in mind. They are trying to appeal to your children, the young audience that they think will vote for them. And those young audience are missing all the things that the sister just said. We're missing the information about ourselves. And so that is what they're trying to do. Now, when you go a little deeper and you really dissect this, really not even deeper, just on the surface, it's just it's an example of how we are not educated, or we don't have knowledge. We suffer from the lack of knowledge. What they're voting for in the first place is a U.S.A, which is a union company that operates on your land.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So the CEO is the president, be it Trump, be it Kamala, whatever. They're just the president of a union company that operates on the land. And you are the Aboriginal indigenous people of the land. So as the sister said, we have been disenfranchised, disconnected from who we actually are. So when you know it that way, that this is just a company. And as I had mentioned to you earlier, when they say, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that, they're not that. Their so-called laws or rules are for the union company and the members thereof, which are the states. They're not even talking to you. They're not even talking to us, the free, natural, national beings on this land. They're not even talking to us. But because we have we're disconnected, we don't know that. So what we have to look at is what I just earlier is that they are trying to get the audience of the youth who has already been off track because they don't know who they are, where they came from, or what their status or position on this earth plane is, period. Now you can go and say, well, that's because the mama didn't teach and the daddy didn't teach them. All right, go back. You can go back, but the further you go back, the more as she stated, you're going to find who you really are. And then we realize that we have bought into a construct, and we are further and further away from the truths about ourselves. So we need to look at that and begin to fix it. Because I hear, as we're saying, is, well, what are you going to do? This is all, just fiending or whatever. But that's one of the things you might want to know first, so that you can understand that these people have no power or authority of governing, because government means to govern the mental, for real, for real, for real. And so as society starts with family, so does the authority to govern it. So we can do whatever we need to do to teach our own. We don't need authority from somewhere else or from some construct that at this point is trying to take the fruits of what they've done to the generations and keep it where, all right, all of you are going to, vote for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in front of you what we know you like. It's very blatant. Let's really think about this for a second. It's very blatant for all of those things to have been done, with the sister dancing and thonging and thought and whatever. It's so blatant. Like, we all should open our eyes rather than have these complaints and who you think is going to fix it and all of that. They've already grasped and grabbed mentally. It's a mental slavery, and we can't come out of it because they've already grabbed our generations, our posterity, and this is what it has come to. So it's up to us to redirect this. I yield.
Yeah, thanks. Yes.
So man knows not by being told.
That's right.
So we can talk to the sisters till we turn green in the face or blue, whatever color we may be. Part of the fall of the Moors was that we start following gods that we knew nothing of, right? So these are fallen stars, these Megan the Stallions, whoever else, these are fallen stars, clearly. So the condition of the mother is the condition of the child. Until we change the condition of the mother, the child will be who she is.
That's right. That's
And
right.
the only change that's going to happen for some of us is by the point of a sword. We know this because all things return to the source. Until these sisters fight their own, all these foes that they have to fight, sharpen their skills, then we will continue to have this collapse. But we still have on the other side of the pyramid builders. So somewhere, hopefully, we'll meet them where they are. Because we know everybody's not going to make it
Yes.
on this journey. We know it. That's what I have to say.
Indeed. Honest. Sister J.
Peace. I think it's a interesting question, and as I'm listening to the other mothers speak, I'm thinking about what would I say to a sister,
Yeah.
in that situation, and I can only reflect on myself because I have been in that situation. I have been in that place, and I know all of us have, where we have identity crisis, where we're trying to figure out, who are we? Where do I belong?
Yes.
And I've been through many avenues, with the schools, with the colleges. I've been in those institutions where I was trying to find my identity, and how I wanted to look, how I wanted to dress, how I wanted to wear my hair. Do I want it straight? Do I want it kinky? Do I want it curly? Now I'm growing locks, you know. So we, you know, as women, we do have this identity crisis, and I what helped me was getting the truth. Once I
Mm.
came into the movement, I did start reading history. What the prophet say, you have luxurious histories. You don't quote me on it, but he said something to that effect. And I started receiving history and studying and just seeing different views of my people, you know, of
Yeah.
my skin, of how we looked, how we carried ourselves. And I did look in the book, and I said, that's how I want to be, that's how I want to dress. I'm royalty, you know. At the time, that's what I used. I'm
Yes.
royalty, and so I should be dressing up that way. I should be covering myself. I should have this attire that where I want to make sure people recognize me as that. I don't want to be mistaken as a black girl. I don't want to be mistaken as a lost person, because I'm not lost anymore. And so, you know, what I would tell the young sisters is that we all been there, but I got
Mm.
something better to show you. And
Right.
you're gonna, you know, and you're gonna see, as we continue our journey, we are gonna see other sisters who was in a position where you was just that. So we humble ourselves, and
Yes.
we send that love to them on their journey, because they have to find themselves. So
Yes.
so just getting that history. I think the history is the biggest thing. We don't know our true history. Just getting that history to the young sisters is magical, and it changed me. So I trust that it can change them as well. Islam.
It's long. Beautiful. Beautiful. And that leads me to my next question, right? And thank you all for your wonderful answers. Very insightful and whatnot. My next question that I want to ask the panel, it deals with what Sister JAIY said, history, right? We are currently in a time where online there is a lot of conversations taking place. I would just say that there's a plethora of conversations around identity. There's a plethora of conversations around genealogy. Okay. One of the most hot button topics in the melanated community right now is whether Kamala Harris is what they call black, right? And I want to know from everybody on the panel tonight, how important is it for us to discover our genealogy, for us to discover our tribe, for us to discover our true bloodline, our true history? How important is it? And is there a proper way of going about it so some of us can truly discover who we are versus who we're not? I'm going to start with our sister Ciasia, and then I want to go to Sister JAIY, and then Sister KAREEMAH, and we'll close it out with Mother Ross. All right? We'll do it like that.
I mean, like I said, the crucial piece to what we're experiencing today is those sorority sisters. The Divine Nine is and the brothers are very instrumental in a lot of led and misled choices of the community, because they're the power. You know, they are the power in terms of political power, social power, and they are the representation, which is why these agents join these groups, right? Which is why these agents have married into our families. And one thing that we will see that is common amongst in terms of our history in the Americas is the marrying of foreigners. Okay. And the marrying of foreigners was to be able to get to this point right here, because you couldn't dilute us in 5 years. You couldn't get us. I mean, Noah Yuval Harari speaks on this. The KGB couldn't break us. When he talks about that group of people that they couldn't break down, whether it was the Nazis, these groups, right? They are speaking specifically about a power structure that they couldn't break before. That's us. That's our families. Our families are the ones that work for the DoD. Our families are the ones that consult folks all around the world. It's our sisters that travel, that teach language. We're not thinking. Who do you think is teaching these countries how to speak English? Thank you, babe. Who do you think? Who do you think is building these schools in these lands in Africa? Who do you think is doing it? Us, by way of the military, by way of the traveling nurses and the traveling educators. It's us. That is us that is teaching the world how to be civilized, how to clean themselves, how to walk upright, right? Dignified. So the reason why we are forgetting that is because we're into this whole thing that our leadership is what is it again? Entangled in, right? In the affairs of identity politics, right? And so
Yes.
because they're in the identity politics by way of the voodoo of their clubs and groups, so is the population. So my advice is to our brothers and sisters in these powerful spaces and places. We are in the last inning before AI kicks in, right? We are in the last inning. I don't care what part or what group you think you're in that's going to spare you or save you. When it comes time, when they want to dispose and get rid of those that help them be great, they will, no matter what you're a part of. So I need all of us to understand that the most unified school of thought for us is to tap back into our bloodlines. Our bloodlines eliminate all leadership. There is no one more powerful than your own family. Your
Mm.
own family. There are people that are literally on these websites. They are invested in these websites and they are seeing their family in state records in Virginia, born in Kent County, Virginia, died in England. How is that so? How come everyone in the 1600s have records where they were born in Virginia and died in England? What does that tell you about what Virginia really was in the old world? But that's another subject. So whether you are a bloodline of Maryland, let me just say the states, then I'll turn it over. Red. Let me call out your state so I can activate you.
The roll
Whether
call.
you're what roll call, all right? Whether your bloodline is from the Carolinas, like my family, shout out to North Carolina. Whether your granny and mother or father's side is from South Carolina, shout out to them. Gullah Geechee, high country, low country. Whether you are Georgians, whether you are the Floridians, whether you that whole Delta Bayou with the crescent and the star in your state's flag, your nation's flag, whether you are the bloodlines of Massachusetts, the bloodlines of Connecticut, the bloodlines of Delaware, the bloodlines of New Jersey, the bloodlines of Ohio, the bloodlines of Illinois, the bloodlines of Wisconsin, Minnesota. Shout out to all of you. You are the most powerful people on earth. You built the world. The only way we can come out of her is to return back to your tribe. Go back to reading those treaties of the 1800s. They're on Wikipedia. See if your family apply. Go back to reading those land patents on blm.gov or org, or your state patents. It'll activate you. Don't worry. Go back to the records of your own people, and then that replace all your celebrities. That replace all your heroes that you put in place of your granddad and them because you thought they were slaves. Go back to your family. Check out all the genealogical websites, whether you have to pay for it. Do a free trial. Go hard for 14 days.
Mm.
14 days. Go hard for free for 14 days. Go in. Go in as John and Jane Doe. Just go in and pull up. Go ask your grandmother and all them people while they're alive. Go get their names and go hard for free 14 days. And call me when you're done. And let's see if you say who you think you are. Let's see if who you think you are 14 days right here from now, if you're the same person. I bet you. I bet you go back to that name that Granny called you. If it's Pookie, if it's little Lily, if whatever that name is, and your name is now Moabitess, Earth, Siasia, beautiful, Star Allah, whatever your name is now. You
Right.
know, Kemet, Egyptian, Allah, Moabitess, Queen, Earth, Mother. Watch you go back to Jane Belvedere, Jane Smith, after you go, and there will be no shame this time. You won't be angry at your honorable name. You will be restored in any face that you decide to take on. But make sure that we take on the face that we create for ourselves out of the redemption, and we're going to go back to our families and we restore ourselves there. That's the reconciliation. Who you created as for yourself when you didn't know who you was, and then you're going to go back to who you really are, so you can come back to the person who you thought you was, and then you just ping pong this power, and then we get back into our royal seats. Peace.
Thank you. D.
Peace.
P.
Um, the first thing that popped in my head when you asked that question was, we, as a clean and pure nation, descended from the inhabitants of Africa, do not desire to amalgamate or marry into the families of the pale skinned nation of Europe, neither serve their gods or their religion, because our forefathers are the true and divine founders of the first religious creed for the redemption and the salvation of mankind on earth. I'm going to skip through and it says, come Asiatics of America, and hear the truth about your nationality and birthright, because you're not Negroes. Learn your forefathers' ancient, ancient, and divine creed that you will learn to love instead of hate. So I say that to say that's how important it is for us to learn our history, because it's not modern, it's ancient.
Yes.
It's ancient Islam.
Islam.
So, so before and after we came through this plane of manifest, we signed the Holy Covenant, whether we know it consciously or not. And that is the Holy Covenant of the Asiatic nation. Ye are the children of one Father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love for one another. So we must remember that we are one with the law, the arm, the leg, and the head. That is who we are. We are one with the law. So finally, I say on this subject, all nations of the earth in these modern times, in these modern days, are seeking peace, but there is but one true and divine way that peace may be attained in these days, and it is through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice being taught universally to all nations in all lands. I yield.
Islam. Thank you.
All right. All right. Wonderful. Everything is said is just beautiful. Don't need to go over that. But on this panel today, we trust that we're all here in love. And so now we're here to, impart some truth. right? 20. I always say 2024 truth is on the floor. What I this started out with Kamala, whether she was black or whatever like that. One mother's breast have given us all suck, as was repeated. But what I find interesting too, because I hear the sister, she's going into England and the aristocracy, right? So like aristocratic, like you a lot of us pulled so far away from our history, our knowledge, being the mothers and fathers, being the mothers and fathers of civilization and civilization principles on this entire planet, Earth, Ether. We must remember that. That's going anciently. So the aristocrats, as an example, we strayed away from what they call like the debutante cotillion and how to eat right and where everything is placed and some class and presentment and all of that. That's
Right.
from us. That's from
Right.
us. Right. So now let's take it to England, because she had mentioned England. Queen Asia's sister mentioned England, and then also, which is beautiful, talked about how you'll find your history down in the South, but they were buried in England. Well, this is interesting because we get ready to start a class on this bringing over the Slavics and the plantations, because they weren't for us. Modern Europeans were on them. So what it is that the brutish Moors or
Brutish Moors.
over in England came over here with the treaty that you may not find in the uh, Library of Congress records and stuff like that, because as was mentioned earlier, some of our records are just not there. It's not there. It's our history. It's our heritage first and history. So, so the British Moors brought the Slavics over here to work in the plantations. We got proof positive and everything, right? So they were from, we're talking what we call England today, but that was really Britain then. In terms of speaking the word, it would be Britain. That's why you have ancient and modern Britons, all right? So they came over here, brought the Slavics over to work in their companies, which were plantations, because they were the slaves. They, of course, they later, declared and revolted and wanted their independence in 1776, not yours. You already here. You have nothing to do with that. So these English or Britons who are Moors, they can't have come over here and set up shop, because this is the land of milk and honey. This is where we was chilling, right? So when they brought them over and started their plantations and fishery and all kinds of stuff, well, some of those British Moors may have passed form over here and they just went back home. So this is why when we say modern, we're not modern man, we're ancient man, right? So that's why we say modern Europeans. We're talking about that. We're not talking about Europe being that we have to claim Europe also, is what I'm saying. We have to claim Europe because Queen Europa established that peace and ceded it to these Slavics, who were really marched over from the Yucatan or Patmos Islands, and we took them over there because the sun was too harsh for them here. So I say that to take the tie right into what Queen Asia is saying, is that you'll find people that passed form, look like you and I, passed form, and then went back to England to be buried, because that's where they were from. That's where, in fact, we need to not separate that either, because we're talking about all four corners of this earth. So we can't abandon this land that we refer to as the North American continent, or the South American, or the Central, or the adjoining islands, because we were first on all of it. We ceded that to them, and then we just came back over here. Some came back from England to set up companies. So that, again, that's part of our history.
Right.
It's just that simple. We taught them everything. And back to, and I just want to mention the debutante cotillion again, because it's going to sort of digress back to what you were talking about with Megan Thee Stallion and the way our sisters act or whatever like that. That's not cool. Well, we used to have this honor of coming out into society as a mother, sister, daughter. And we would do that, and it's also based on the, astrology is the teaching tool for us all to get that. And we would bring them out into the social world after the 6 houses of development with them, at home, and how your mama
Yes.
raised you, or all right. Then we would bring them out, and that would be called debutante. Now, I'm not saying that we had all the poofy stuff they have today, but I'm saying that ideology, that concept is what we would consider aristocratic, but it
Aristocrat.
came
Right.
from us, and we have divorced ourselves from all of that because of our mental slavery and lack of knowing.
Indeed.
Greg, can I veggie back off of what she said real quick?
Yeah.
Just this
Please.
quick point.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the semantics of it all. Not understanding where we are physically standing in terms of a map perspective. Would you agree, Mother? Like in terms of the semantics of knowing where Europe is, and then because you see this modern version of Europe, you don't think it applies to you. So now, because modern Europe is now being applied to so-called pale or white people, you think when you're calling them European, you're slandering white folks, but you're slandering yourself because you are the original European. It's you, right? So when you call them Asians, and we're calling Kamala Asian, you got to kind of remember where Asia was and how, just what the original maps were. And then you get to understand the semantics of how everything that applies to us. This North American landmass is huge. You
Yes,
know, Illinois is Iraq for all we know, ancient Iraq,
Right.
right? Ohio is Syria for all we
Libra,
know,
Right.
Libya.
right?
That's
Yeah.
actually
Libya.
what it is.
Right.
Yeah. I know.
Okay.
That's right.
So here we are, all of that identity. Not only are we being doppelganged in terms of our identity personally, but our land is. So they literally took the names of our lands and took it over there. And over there ain't far either. Over there is like Brooklyn, like I say all the time, and people crack up when I say this. I need us to know that over there is like Mount Vernon to
Yeah.
Long Island. Okay, when you say you're going to Africa, here you are thinking you're doing something real, bourgeoisie, and it's really you going from the A train from the
Motion.
200.
yeah.
You going from
Yes.
Notion to 2/5 on the express line?
Bro, you just went to
And
Far Rockaway. You just went to Far Rockaway. That's all you did. You just went from Yankee Stadium to Far Rockaway. Like, you act like you did something real exotic. You know what I'm saying? So I just need everybody to calm down. Just
Yeah.
calm down.
Let's say it again. Let's say it again. Let's
No,
take it. Let's
let
take
me.
it up a little more.
Because you haven't even conquered, you haven't even gone anywhere in America yet. You're scared of your own country. You're scared of
No,
yellow.
and
Speak, sister. Speak.
You're scared.
And so look at it this way, if I could just interject here. When you say Asia, it's like, oh, well, she's Asian. Yeah, we all are actually, because really we're spirit man manifested in the flesh on this afterplay and this earth. All of it was called Asia. That's why you have Asia Major and Asia Minor, etc., like that. And then when you take it up from above, it was the whole thing is Asia, and it means lower realm. So yeah, we need to just chill out. And there are exotic maps also to show you that London is over here and all that. The names mean nothing. It's the
Right. They
fact that
do.
we are the mothers and the fathers of civilization and civilization principles, all four corners. I think, guys, I'm sorry, Jay, I think you wanted to say something. I think that was you.
Islam. Yes, I did. So, oh my gosh, girl, you on fire. You are on fire, sister. Um,
That's because of our people. That's because I'm studying your grandmother. You see what your
that's
grandmother
right.
do for me? You see what your grandmother do for me?
So I
That's
was looking
right.
for. I was actually gonna lay down some of the states. I think I had 6 or 7, and say what their true original. I had it written in the book, but I couldn't find it fast enough because when she was speaking, it made me want to go to the book. But it's so true how they trick us. They trick us. They tricked us because they created and started writing. But what I was gonna say, which was funny, And she said, you ain't doing nothing. As she said, you ain't doing nothing, because really they wasn't doing anything. The modern Europeans wasn't doing anything, because remember, they didn't have the means to travel like that. So
Right.
when they would go, just a little 100 miles, they thought they were across the world. And you have to remember, we are ancient. Not only did we travel to different countries, but we traveled to different planets. All right. And I think that's one of the things where it say, what's the moon saying? One big step for
Man, yeah,
yeah,
one big step for mankind.
exactly. But one small step for
One small
man,
step for man, one big step for
for
mankind when they did the
mankind.
fake landing.
Exactly.
No,
Because
reverse
it's
that.
it's a
Reverse
small
that.
step
Right.
for man,
Reverse it.
because we
One small step for
For
mankind,
guy,
one big
one
step
big
for
step for
man.
man. Yes, yes. All
that's
right.
Okay.
right.
All right.
Because we already did that. So it was like, and then the thing about it is, did they even go? I saw a documentary that said they ain't even really make it. They just did, like, they did do a little trick, because it was something to the effect that if they didn't really make it, they needed to show. I saw this whole
Jay,
documentary about it. Yeah, they
Sister
needed to
Jay, look,
show.
they had a
And
camera
yes,
watching the thing land. So who landed first, the cameraman or the astronaut?
exactly. Exactly.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes,
and
yes.
they end up coming out about that years later on a documentary, how they had to make that, like, hey, if we don't really make it, we told the whole world we was gonna do this. And so, but it's just wonderful. It's wonderful to hear and to have this conversation, because the truth is, we do need to study these maps. You need to find old exotic maps. You need to really, because when you read history, you don't want to be confused. That's what it is. Really, it's confusing. So if they're saying, like she said, that, hey, your family came from Virginia, but they died in England or something, you like, wait, what? I'm confused. How did we get all the way over there? And not knowing that,
Yes.
this was ancient Africa. The Africa they talk about today is really over here. Or, and so
It's
everybody's trying
semantic.
exactly, everybody's
It's
trying to
semantic.
run
Yeah.
to Africa. Oh, we want to go to Mecca, not knowing that Mecca is really Chicago. We want to run to here, not
Come
knowing that,
on. Come on.
and so
Come on.
it's so important to get the history and do the time and take the time to study, because when you do go back into your history of your family, your own family, like she said, so go back to your own grandmother and see where
Mm.
she lived at. And
Come
then
on.
now, after you see where she lived at, match it up to the history that you found, to where is that really at on the map at
I
that
promise
time,
you, it
at that
works.
time, at
It
that
works.
time. So don't do
Mm.
it to today's map. Do it at that time map. So I
Mm.
just wanted to
Mm-hmm.
say that was just a good point. And like I said, if I find it, I'm going to read off some, and this is just for you to go back and figure it out and do the study to say, all right, how did she get that? This was that. This was that. That's for you, because why? The prophet said, if I gave you everything, you go back to sleep. So I don't want y'all to go back to sleep. So you're going to
Come
get a
on.
little, and then you're going to go and study Islam.
Islam, beautiful,
Islam.
beautiful. Look, we're
Hey.
gonna we're gonna take a word from our sponsors, and when we come back, Mother Roz, I'm gonna go to the slideshow because you sent me some images. Yeah, I'm gonna pull that up, and then we're gonna go to the audience for the Q&A because I did tell the audience we're about 500 deep right now. I did tell them that we
Yay.
will get about 3 to 4 questions from the audience to be, just to be fair and let them have their say and whatnot.
But
Because I know that they do have questions.
that sounds wonderful. But you know what? Can you put up the avatar for the sister Kareemah?
She will have to do
She
that
will have
on,
to do it.
yes.
Yeah, I learned that later. I learned, yeah, she got to do it for herself. And yeah.
If she clicks on the 3 top buttons, there will be one that says edit image, and then she'll be able to put her image in there. I'm going to go to this commercial real quick. I will be right
All
back,
right.
y'all.
Love and peace.
Okay.
Love and
Peace.
Peace, love, and abundance, family. Are you looking for high quality, handcrafted, one of a kind pieces for alignment, protection, and clarity, amongst your other essentials? Well, Copley Culture is here to provide the intentional adornments and adorations that you're looking for. So levitate your divine self on over to Copley Culture and get your custom designed copper artifacts right now. Copley Culture is here to assist you in your journey, and we do offer layaway options for all. I look forward to seeing you. I have over 20 years of experience making handcrafted gems. Check us out on Copperly Cultured on Instagram. You could also check us out on YouTube, Copperly Cultured.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You could go and get your cosmic drip from Copperly Cultured. Shout out to them. All right. So I want to go to this graph right here, ladies and gentlemen, Moors and Mobites. And I want our good sister, Mother Roz, to break this down for us. Okay.
All right, all right. But first of all, that's the wrong. I sent you another one. That's not the one we want to break down. That I sent another one separate. I trust you can get it. I
Yes.
sent it right before the with
No,
the
no, no.
Bible.
It's the right one. It's the right one.
This is the
No, it's
updated
not.
one.
Yeah, look at it. Can you
Let me
put it
see it
back
again.
up?
All right, give
I
me 1 minute.
apologize. Oh yes,
That's
apologize.
it.
That,
Yes.
that yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, I didn't see it at first. I apologize.
Nah, you good. You good.
Well, actually, I can we go to the top one that says humanity in her womb first?
Of course. It's right there. Let's break that down.
All right. And matter of fact, yes, we will break that down. But yes, yes, put that one in. Humanity in her womb, if that can be centered, or is this is oh you laid it out like this? Is that
Yeah,
what you
that's the
said?
layout. Yeah, that was
I
the
got
layout.
you.
Hmm.
All right, and I don't know if everyone can see that top one, which is really the one we wanted to make sure that it's not, it might need to be larger, and I don't know if they can enlarge that top one over there.
Okay, I can. Give me 1 second.
Thank you. That would be great.
Let me do my surgery.
All right.
So brother, can I make a comment before while you doing that?
Yes.
So we was talking about speaking about the ley lines of this earth, right? So
Yes.
we must also include the ley lines that are above us also, right?
Mm,
We cannot forget those. The universe, that's the law, right?
Yes.
So we have to remember that law. As above, so below, as below, so is above, right? So we got the ley lines on the earth, so we have to remember add them to the ley lines
Above us.
above us. Yes.
Excellent. Are we good right here with this image?
yes.
Yes. Okay.
Perfect. That's good. That's good. All right. So when the sister Karima had read that one mother's breast have given you suck, you know, we have to this is a message to see if we can get on the same solid foundation of truth, and that brings us together because we can't deny or defy the truth. So to all the sisters, and they may be thinking, well, where do I start? Where do I start? The teaching starts in the womb. That is a fact. Nothing will ever change that. The teaching starts in the womb, but there's some other things going on in there too, because the truth is that you are the grand architect, as they say in a lot of secret societies. The grand architect built Solomon's temple in the darkness and the silence and with no hands and no tools. They're talking about you, sis, mothers, daughters, sisters. They're talking about you and codifying it and to teach lessons on a so-called secret manner to because of the suppression of you, or because they just don't want to tell the truth the way that it is. Maybe someone won't want to receive it. And in the generations and generations and generations that we have been in terms of this construct, no one does. Many don't want to receive it because they've washed it away so far away, just as we're speaking about this history. So we can all start here because we all start here. That's it. So here we are in the womb. There's the Ethernet, which you call the umbilical cord, is the Ethernet, the true and real Ethernet. Because while you're having this, you're building Solomon's temple, which means the soul of man's body, because your body is your temple. So while that is going down, there are downloads from the universe to the mother, daughter, sister, right? And they come through the umbilical cord. So
Teach.
this is what's happening. I don't care what you believe in, what religion you are, whatever you think, whatever you want to call yourself, whatever your identity crisis may be or has been, this is it. This is where we all start. So that's what's happening. And then, of course, you're going to be cut from the navel. That's the, you call that the the umbilical cord, and then they cut it off, and the baby has what you call belly button.
Right.
It's the navel, because from there you become a navigating L on the earth plane. That's why it's navel. All right. Now, your preacher, your reverend, they'll say, well, you have been marked by God. All right. Well, where's the mark? That is the universal mark.
It's the fact you have a belly button.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then your chart that comes with you, which is your navigating chart, is your birth chart. From hence you start, from the time you rise. And
everybody has a specific map, correct?
Everyone has a specific map, and there's thousands and thousands of variations of it. Both of us could be the same sun sign, but we might not be the same moon sign. We could be born on the same day, and one of the planets or every 2 hours things move. So we could have a different rising.
Right.
But exactly, this is how this thing works. It's wheels within wheels within wheels. So this is how we are all different. Then you've heard people say, I'm born on the square. And then you've also saw the symbology of that, where you see the brothers standing and they got their feet at a 90-degree angle, like
on my square, son.
Yeah, there you go.
Standing on my square, done.
Yeah. You were born on the square, because I don't care how small, large, short, tall the mother is. This arc right here that she makes while the baby's in there is a perfect arc. This is geometry. This is algebra. This is math. It's a perfect arc. So when they talk about the arc of the covenant, they're talking about the agreement, because covenant means agreement. It's not no witchy, scary, whatever.
Right.
And Sister KAREEMAH just read what the covenant was, so we can recognize it. We're bringing in the souls. We are bringing in the children, and this is the first school. So that 90-degree angle, every child is born on a 90-degree angle, or is in the womb on a 90-degree angle. That's a fact. So this is where they get these things from, and then start some secret societies, and here the mothers, daughters, and sisters who actually build the temple and give birth don't know anything about it. You have family members, they're in the secret societies, they can't even talk about this, that, or the other thing because they took an oath not to.
Right.
But you think, who'd you take an oath to? What demigod did you take an oath to that you can't even share that with your family?
Damn.
There's a division of family right there. Right there. So now, over on the right, you'll see that it says crowned at birth. Now, every mother in here knows that they'll say, oh, when they see the baby's head coming, they'll say, oh, the baby is what? Crowning.
Right.
They still call it crowning to this day. So that means that we are all crowned already by your mother. And this is why, see, it means you're already crowned by your mother, but we'll go out because of these constructs. And instead of walking out on that truth and that honor, we're looking for some other titles and honors and positions that now in these days and times we're finding do not exist anymore. The fences are gone. You can't be on a fence. They're all gone. You can't be hiding behind a wall. Fences and walls are gone. So you no longer can, many can't even be in that place where, even if it was through their job or whatever it was, where you can feel like, you're puffed up and boisterous with this title.
Right.
Because if you don't honor the first title and walk out on that fundamental foundation, it's not a cool thing at all. The great God of the universe, she is not gonna like that and gotta straighten it out. And that's, I don't know if you have any questions on that, but that's why the next one says she is descending, because that is what is happening.
Right.
And it says, now that picture, I found it, looked and looked and looked to try to find, I can't remember what class it was, but we do a Sister Standing on Law every third Sunday. And out of this came this statement, which we share, KAREEMAH, myself, and Jay, we all like share information, and we sometimes do classes together. We like to call ourselves the thrice blessed when we do, but let it be known today, the divine feminine is descending to earth. That's what's happening, y'all. In an incorruptible body, in the unfading light of the new goddess. No more the thongs and all that stuff. The new goddess.
Yes.
But it ain't really new. It's old, But heaven has become one with the depths, with the lowest of the low. Heaven has become one. And that's from a book. I can Vladimir. I can't see it. It's a little small. Called The Three Meetings.
Yes, Solovyov.
It's all right.
Solovyov.
Yes.
It's a Russian name. 3 Meetings is the name of the book. 3 Meetings.
Well, just as the sister said, we go back to these names. So look, we have a book that I would suggest called Message of the Stars, and it's by someone called Max Heindel. He got the EL because he knows he's a navigating L. That's where the AL comes from, on high.
Right.
All right. And everything, and all other names, with or without L or a BEY or whatever, as the sister was saying, comes from us. We are the mothers and fathers of this. We are. So his name is Max Heindel. It's a very good book, and I believe he was from England also. There's a lot of good books written before, let's say, I don't know if I got it right, but at least at the turn of the century, like 1900s, 1918s to the 20s.
Yeah, the late 18 and the early 19s. I would say before Hollywood. I use that as a benchmark.
Yes.
Before the moving picture, before all of that distraction and the propaganda was 10x, those books from the 18 and the 1900s, the earlies, are chock full of information. I mean, loaded.
Yes. And so what does that mean? That means that that's why we tell people don't get abridged dictionaries, because they've abridged the words. The farther back you have the dictionary, the more you'll find it truer to its source, because they infiltrated the teaching systems, starting with the private the elementary schools.
Yes, Rockefeller.
Yeah, that's what happened.
What about this wheel that we have right here?
That is just your general cardinal points of the general astrology wheel. But what we were going to say, and I'm going to reserve that for either KAREEMAH or Jay, or together or whatever, to speak on about the fact that what is happening now is she being Cancer, the mother, because it's always the binding post is mother father. See, it's not just mother, it's mother father. All
Yes.
right, you have to understand that relationship. So Cancer, as far as a learning by signs and symbols, the astrology wheel is hands down the best tool that has been left here uh, for us to learn from. It has many layers on it. What you will see in it depends on what you know. What you'll see in that wheel, you'll see some that has a lot of stuff in it, and different symbols and signs and stuff. Well, that's if you know what those symbols and signs are, then you would be able to recognize that and understand what it's saying. But basically, this is the wheel and the cardinal points. We have ages, and we have the procession. We have procession of ages, of which
Mm-hmm.
we're in Aquarius, and so it goes the other way. I don't want to say it goes backwards, but on the wheel.
Counterclockwise.
Yes. So the
Session
next
of the equinox.
now the procession of the equinoxes, that's another wheel within the wheel, though.
Another wheel
That's
within the
another
wheel.
wheel. And I
Yeah.
was going to try to show that in that other one I sent, but then we didn't want it to be confusing in that respect. But what would happen is uh, Cancer would be, as far as the equinoxes go, Cancer would be on the rise, or would rise and is rising, because that's mother. So that would be rising in the east. And then Capricorn would be on the right where Libra is. And so
Mm-hmm.
what does that mean? So that means that, as I had mentioned briefly before, the first six um, houses, and I didn't put the signs in there because that wasn't the lesson we were trying to show here, but
Right.
the first six bottom houses are are symbolic of your personal foundation. So when you do your chart, you find out what's there, what planets are there. So the first six being that, and then you enter into that being personal now, personal independent, personal subjectives. What do we mean by subjective? That means as a child, all of the things that you may have been subjected to, some of them may not be good. When
Yes.
some of them may not be good, but I'll tell you what, when you read your chart, it's already slated in there that it wouldn't be.
It was written.
So it's the ledge.
It was the ledger. It's in the contract.
Yes. Kareemah told you about that contract. It's real. So hey, listen, it was in the ledger, right? No, the ledger.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. So the first six is your foundation of self, and how you were raised and whatever the conditions may be. But when you get to where Libra is, you enter into the social houses. And the first one is Libra, really, meaning who or what are you going to unite with? And then it's, who or what you're going to marry, and what your desires are going to be, and then how far your education is in the ninth house, which is nothing is really higher than nine. So that's where your heights of spiritual education sits, and it's 180 degrees from house 3, which is Gemini's house, which is your basic communication skills or lack thereof, whatever it is, whatever's marked in there. So once you go into the Libra side, now you're in the social arena. So I say that to say, to as she's gonna rise, she's gonna be on the left where Aries is. Over here where Father is, which is Capricorn, will be right there. You right at the opening of the seventh house, the house of social, the house of unity,
Mm.
uniting everything that you have experienced and learned from the house 1 to 6 will now be united as you yourself enters into society or into the social world. Capricorn is there to say, no, 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 you are going to have discipline and order. That's what we're going to look at. Now, what's going to end up being at the top with Capricorn will be Libra, which represents what? Justice.
The scales.
So the 10th house,
Yes.
right? And that's the house of social status. So what you look like, not what you think you are, but what you do look like to the society. Because a lot of times we we think we're whatever, but nah, that's what you perceive of yourself. But how does society see
See
you?
you.
There
Right.
you go. So with that being said, the energies of the universe is forcing or demanding and going to receive um, discipline, order, love. First with Cancer, love, family. The nadir where Cancer is now, that's where Aries would be, which represents self. So we'll be coming out of home well, better prepared.
Right.
Because it starts with the mother and the child in her womb. And so what she knows is imparted to the child. And she's going to be in a better place to get these better downloads, if you will, or to be free in her mind. And because we are spirit man manifested in this flesh, and has the agreement to bring all of the children in, all the saints come marching in through her womb.
Mm.
So that is what's going to be that is what is being demanded of us. That's where we're rolling to, um like that. And I yield, and I believe Kareemah may have something to comment on that, if that's all right. And Jay.
Yes. Excellent. Thank you so much.
All right.
Sister Karima, you there?
Yes, I'm here. So
Indeed.
that was great, mother. That was deep. So if we take this wheel, which has the 4 cardinal points, firstly, we have to look at the elements. We have earth, we have fire, we have water, and we have air. That is the completeness. So, but if we take that middle, the dot that mother has there, that is us, right? That is you. You always in the middle of this circle. That is your essence. So if we pull this up, sort of like a cone, like a triangle, right? You will see the Allah in you. You will see the Allah with you in the middle. Until we learn to balance these cardinal points in our lives, everything will be topsy turvy. We must learn to transmute the energies that are within these cardinal points, right? Like we don't
Okay.
fight fire with fire,
Fire. Right.
right? We don't fight air with fire, right?
Mm.
Or water with fire. But we can, because by degrees, these are the same lines, but by degrees, these things can happen, right? If I pour extremely hot boiling water on the earth, guess what's going to happen, right? And vice versa. So we must learn to balance on an elementary level first, and then we can start seeing these, because these are masculine and feminine energies on one wheel, with
Right.
you in the middle of the wheel.
That's right.
All right, I'll leave it there.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Sister J.
Peace. I just wanted to touch on Libra, where Mother Ra said she's going to be in the position where Capricorn. She's not going to be. She's already there.
Yeah.
That's what this 2024 is all about. She's there. Libra is justice, and justice is being served. And depending on where you are on your journey, it may be easy for you or it's hard. But Libra is at the top right now, and she is handing out justice.
Mm.
Um, and then I know one thing me and Mother Russ always talk about is when people talk about karma, right? We used to say things like, karma's going to catch up to that person or that individual. Karma's going to catch up. And we've noticed that these times, karma isn't catching up. It's just there. So if you do something, karma is there today. It's there tomorrow. It's there in 5 minutes. It's slapping you right back. So the time is now to get yourself in order, because whether you want to do it or not, you're going to be forced to do it, or you're just going to be getting slapped up. Another thing I wanted to touch on, which I thought was actually divine, very divine. Today, Cancer, the mother, not only is she in the sun, but she's also the moon. The moon is in Cancer and the sun is in Cancer today. And you decided to have this show with the matriarchs today.
Whoa.
That
Motherly energy is real. Whether you knew it or not, it was divine and it was set up this way. So as you spoke earlier, to speak that this is going to be a wonderful show. It is that. It is that. It was divinely put that way. Not only the timing, it couldn't have been any better. So I just wanted to say that.
Wow.
give thanks for that.
Divine law governs. Can we just make one more thing about about Libra, Jay? Remember we talked about it as symbology. Kamala is a Libra, so we know that justice is here in terms of, mother coming.
So she's the symbolic.
All of everything.
Everything, right?
She's what we talked about, the symbology of it and the prophecy of it and all. So we're just saying that, with that, her being a Libra and being in this, that position. That's
wonderful. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go to the audience, our illustrious audience. Peace to everybody out there and whatnot. We are allowing, or we're welcoming about 2 to 3 questions for the panel tonight. And I just want to say thank you so much to everybody that pulled up. Your energy was top tier. I'm sure that the panelists were being able to feed off of that energy. It's electrifying. And I just want to say thank you. And for the mothers that are on the panel, the audience is given flowers. Like, they are loving what they're hearing. They are locked in. They are taking notes. They are here for y'all right now. I just want to let you know, in case you didn't read the comments, they are definitely here for y'all. So I do want to say thank y'all for pouring this glass of water for all of us today. Yes, so we're going to take some questions in the audience. All right. Okay. Let's see. Let's see who we have and what are they. Question: have any of you observed the challenge of sisters building and sustaining harmonious relationships? If so, then what is the resolve? How do we sustain relationships amongst one another?
So we must remember the ties that bind, firstly, right?
Yes.
And we go back to our forefathers and foremothers, right? We go back to that. And if you want to sustain something, right, you have to abstain from something else, right? One thing replaces the other. So if your soul does not jive with another soul, that's not your jiving, right? You need to move on from that. You can't make remember when we were younger, we used to try to put the square peg in the hole. We can't do that anymore. We're past that point. So when you say sisters bring in the energy, right? So you got to be with the right type of sister, right?
Right.
So sustaining relationships is no different from anything else. You must learn your element, how your makeup is, how you are elementary, who you are, then you will find a sustainable relationship.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. That was
Um,
wisdom right there.
Peace, Queen. Thank you for that. And that's real. Thank you, sisters. Period. I mean, just wait. Can I just go back to that real quick? The breakdown of the chart. Like, come on, bringing that astrology and that celestial influence over us. Thank you for reminding us about the above, right?
Yes.
Because we just stay in. We're just in. Well, even when we're talking about Kamala and giving it a name, we're in the mundane, right? But
Right.
but we got to remember those heavenly bodies for real. So thank y'all for reminding us about the power of the unseen. Um, the thing with these sisters, um, you know, and Red, you know this about me, you know, gang, gang. You know, I treat sisters the same way they do in them streets. You know, you get them a criteria, and I'm grateful for the sisters around me that have protected me in terms of you got to go through a couple of them before you even get to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just not available and I'm not accessible to everyone. And that is because we have to look at and without jealousy and competitiveness. Hey, if I'm sharp in a particular area that's essential for these times, let me cook. My sister's job ain't to dislike me or to compete with me or be, low key insecure or threatened by my position as I grow in the area of knowledge that I'm growing in, which is happens to be genealogy. It's your job as my sister to protect that. And if I'm watching you, because I watch them all, I watch them all. I watch myself. You know what I'm saying? And so, and how I treat me as well too in terms of if you can't understand my position, even if it appears to be disagreeable to where you are in your life, then you know at this time, sisters, the way what we just went through with COVID and everything else, being separated from our families, being separated from our own blood. Now you know how I am now these days. I'm on gang gang when it comes to our families. And the fact of the matter is that this situation we just went through in the last 4 years challenged us with our role and proximity to our own kin.
Mm, it sure did.
So, sisters, you could disqualify yourself from my seat all you want, because I've already been tested with my own bloodlines, with my own people, in the fallacy of the news and all the shit that just went on in the past 4 years. So I've already passed. You can go. So
Right.
we need women that understand that each of us are on assignment and in our role, right? And we all have a job to do in this whole thing, this whole stage that we're on, and why the creator needs to experience itself through us. And neither one of us are to deprive that divine right of what it takes for me for the Most High to experience itself through me. And if that may mean a switch of gears, honor it and respect it and protect me at all costs. Because as long as it's righteous, it's true. And so sisters that don't honor that, they gotta go. Behead them and keep it moving. Because we all should be in progression. It's not just charts that progress. Those charts are also describing people and individuals. And as charts progress, so should we. So nobody shouldn't even be still on the same square of truth that they was on 10 years ago. If they're your
Mm,
sisters and they rocking with you, they supposed to be rocking with you when you on to your new, your progress chart or your progress energy, right, mother? I mean, if I was a Libra in 1975 and I'm Sagittarius in 2024, you rocking with me or not? You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
That's
because
my progressed energy, right? So you love me when I'm Libra, love me when I'm Sag, right? So
oh man, yes, yes. What you just kind
yeah,
of said was, um, like we on this is a battle. It's a great
yeah,
one, and we don't want somebody on the field with us that doesn't have this understanding. Period. It's like, nah, you can't be there. So I like what you're saying about the changes, because that's what we all do. We are all
Yeah.
changing and growing into what we have marked to be, even on that chart. You got to experience all of those energies, because all of
Come
them mean
on.
something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of how you might express it. Like, whatever your moon sign is really you, not your sun sign. So that means that the moon represents your soul, and your soul says, well, I'm going to express the dictates of my soul through the characteristics of a Libra. And then your rising is Sagittarius or whatever. Says, well, the soul says, I'm going to express the dictates of my soul through how I present myself. And
Come
so
on.
that can change, and it does
Mm-hmm.
change. And that
Yeah.
basic wheel, like you said, it progresses. But you got to know who you are with it, and you'll find that you progress too. But also, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I think uh it's like, look, don't even come with the done stuff. You've already been through it. You've been tried and tested. All of us have, but we wouldn't be here. How about that?
Facts.
Fact.
That's the
Fact.
fact. That's the
That's the
truth.
fact.
And lastly, so whoever, myself, Karima, Jay, for instance, we are united in what we're doing in the nucleus. Whoever Asia has that she's talking about, that actually helps her with what she's doing and appreciates it, that is the unity of women. Now, for all of us would understand that the treasures, the gifts of understanding, are the treasures that have been bestowed to you, and start doing that, then you'll find your sister circle will be intact.
Mm,
Mm. Thank
beautiful.
Mhm.
you. Thank you.
Yes. And you know
So,
what I think of
okay.
the oh, all right. You wanna
No, you go,
oh,
please.
I think of that saying where they say birds of the feather flock together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna find yourself with the people that have the same energy as you. You don't have to look for it. You don't have to force it. You don't have to try to make someone, like your new you, or and vice versa. And one thing the sister said was tried and tested, and I thought that was powerful, because even in the Circle 7, just this Sunday, we spoke about that. We spoke about the approval of self, right? And in the approval of self, you are tried and tested for yourself, not for anyone
Yeah.
else, for yourself. So then, after you go through these battles within yourself for your own salvation, then you step out into the world with others. And so, when these people are interacting with you and you're interacting with them, and it's not harmonious, that's all right. We don't have to force nothing. That's all right. It's everybody is not made to be with everyone. That we all got a a flop that we gonna flop with. Um, and it was one more thing I wanted to say. Um, when you talk about hard times with sisters being harmonious, I'm gonna say this: look within yourself. We right now are four mothers on this line. We didn't always know each other, and we're just meeting sis, right? We're just meeting queen. But this platform, these conversations that we having, are harmonious. We didn't need we didn't need to force anything, because the energy was already there. So when you find yourself meeting new individuals and new people, nothing, if it's forced, it's not it. That's not it. You don't have to force it. Just be yourself. And being yourself, that's all you have to do. Just be yourself. And being yourself, if that's not good enough for the individual around you, deuces.
Beautiful. Indeed.
I do want to add one
Oh,
thing to this.
oh, can I add
Karima,
on?
yeah,
So, so,
Yes.
so, in order to turn base metal into gold, right?
Oh, Suki.
It's a lot of things that must happen. Right? So, on this level, if you contradictory to someone, it might take a minute, but it's like understanding, Mother said it. That's the bottom rung, understanding each other. So it's about sharpening our swords, right? Are we going to fight these people with dull swords, or are we going to sharpen these with, are we going to fight whatever comes with us with some sharpened swords? It's up to us, right? So we can't go in with dull blades, right? I yield.
Facts,
So deuces.
facts.
I do want to say one last thing.
Please do.
All right. So I don't have this. This is the pictorial, but we don't have the picture of the pyramid up. But everybody knows what a pyramid is. So imagine it in your mind. Let me explain this. It has four sides. I'm coming up on this side. You're coming up on the other side. Sister Asia was coming up on this side. Somebody else is coming up over there, and we're all coming up to the top. Now, when we're on that bottom base on our journey, we may not see each other. We don't even know each other. But as we go in that direction of what is right and righteous,
Mm.
now we get higher up, right? We get to see each other. Then we get a little closer. We get to see and talk and touch each other because we are in sisters, mothers, daughters in the same direction. I yield.
Yes, and that
Right.
goes back to that, the cardinal signs on that wheel,
Yep.
because we're climbing up on those sides, right? Some of us are emptying some things we were missing from our birth, be the sign, our sun sign. So we have to go back and get that. We always go back. A mastermind retraces his steps at
Mm.
all times.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
I'm
That's a
loving
dream.
it.
All
I'm
right.
loving it. I got new diamonds in my teeth, y'all. So much gems was dropped tonight. I got new diamonds in my teeth. My next question is going to be for the brothers. I want to speak to the Moors out here, right? I want to speak for them. Earl-
Shouts to the chat. Shouts to the chat. I'm thinking that I'm feeling the chat is like super lit right now.
Yes, the chat is very lit. This, the very studious bunch that we have here, and they are finding enjoyment in the gems, and just the energy that y'all are giving them. You know what I mean? And I want to say thank you for feeding them. Um, Earlier, I was having a conversation with Mother Roz, and I put her on to a group of brothers that she had no idea about called the Passport Bros. She didn't know that they had Moors out here jumping ship and running around the world trying to replicate what the ancient Moors was out here doing by running around the world planting their seeds and whatnot. Um, I'm not going to get all the way into the theology, the mind state of the Passport Bros and what they stand for and all of that. What I do want to say is that amongst the Moors and the brothers in the the USA, there has been a cry, right, for some type of camaraderie, right? I call it the affairs of the heart, right? I'm a man, so I could hear the cries of a lot of people crying out, right? And a lot of our brothers are somewhat, I don't want to say the word lonely because I don't want to disrespect anybody's position, but they're out here looking for their better half. They want to meet at the top of that pyramid with their quote unquote significant other, right? There's been, and they don't have too many platforms to meet their significant other in this community in particular. We don't have a lot of social settings. So I would love to hear from my panelists tonight before we get out of here. Can you give us an idea of what a upright, upstanding, and what a Moorish man would look like to be, someone that you would consider to be a mate or someone that you would consider to be equally yoked to you. So can we have that conversation about, what is it that Moorish women, Moabites, are looking for in their quote unquote significant other?
Uh,
I'll start with Queen Ciasia. I believe she's married. So I'm gonna start with you, and then I'm gonna go to Mama Roz, and then I'm going to Karima, and then we'll end it with Sister J.
Um, well, it's like what I realized was going on out here is definitely since like you gotta have your partner prior to 2021. Like 2021 just said,
Yikes!
yikes. 2021 changed the a lot
It
in
did.
terms of,
It did.
and all and good, because slut can't be life,
Right.
hoe can't be life.
Right.
And what salute to Fauci for that, like, because he helped incorporate some stipulations that made us just really sit down, because now that we know what we know,
Right.
things definitely have to be changed. And so anybody that you already knocked half the ballpark out when you realize people are deaf, dumb, and blind to what happened in terms of 2021 and what that really meant on a biological level, right?
Mm.
So they're already exiled. So now your pickings have gotten slimmer, and that's good for you. It's not as foggy, right? But what I want to say with my husband and I is, so because that is the criteria that's going on out here now, where you got to really try to dig and pry to see what people have been doing with their bodies and what they've been doing with themselves for the last 3 to 4 years, is that it is helpful if you have been with your partner prior to this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Because that is the benefit of me and mine, is that you know what I'm saying, we were never on lockdown. We rolled this health campaign together. We,
Right.
we we did all of that together. When everybody else was, and we made our families be accountable and keep stayed in their head, and we led with keeping our mothers healthy and keeping our father and all that. So if
So in
it's pretty.
tragedy, you strengthen your bond. In tragedy and adversity, you were able to find the silver lining.
We were, and didn't mean we didn't go through hella, right, because of the trauma around COVID, right, and what we actually went through. So we did kind of attack each other in the aftermath too. But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is that, so for people today, here's what I have to say to you: is you have to be with folks that are very clear as to the kind of warfare that we're in today. You have to be with people that are very understanding and very aware about what just happened,
Mm.
and what was the intention of the United, the government, the medical industry,
Right.
blah blah blah. And you have to be stern on that, because we weren't sacred prior to this. We were very harsh, and we were just outside, and we didn't have a criteria, and we didn't have a standard. What this did was now forcefully put us on notice in terms of how we share our bodies, who we give our sovereignty away to regarding our bodies. Now you
Yeah.
see women actually online talking to sacred birth doula about the birth certificate, about
Right.
having the babies at home. So everything has forcefully changed, and you want to attract, because we don't go looking for anybody. You're a woman, you attract who you need, right? So
Yes.
so we essentially are summoning you to us based on us changing our lives. Like Sister J said earlier, work on yourself and your partner will show up. We don't search for anything. We are the people of magnetism, especially the women. So by
Mm.
you doing your work, being very clear and specific, we are living algorithms. You will attract the traffic that you're looking for. The same way that, Instagram, I'll close on this note, the same way that Instagram knows those cookie settings,
Right.
right? We're creating cookies based on
Mm.
everything we decide to study, right? And everything that we decide to put in our mind. And then our mind projects out there in the world. And the next thing you know, you're at the library, where some place of decency, right?
Right.
Meeting your decent partner. And that's just the whole goal. Live in decency and you will find your partner there.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
Uh, uh, am I next?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
all
you
right.
are.
Yes. I just wanted to say, well said, sister.
Yes.
Thank you, beloved.
That's absolutely well said. So, what I want to say is going to be pretty short here because the question was, what do mothers, Moabite mothers, want? Well, our understanding is they need to be upright, independent, and fearless.
Say that again, please.
They need to be upright,
Mm-hmm.
Say that again.
independent, and
You're
fearless.
fearless. I
And
love it.
fearless. So, I get with everything the sister just said. Uh, Otherwise than that, I yield to whoever is next. I think it's Kareemah.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So,
Yes, Mama Karima.
all right, I'm here. I'm here. So,
Yeah.
so we got to remember that we are not this body, right?
Yes.
We are spirit man manifested into this flesh.
Into this flesh.
So,
Yes. It's a vehicle.
yeah, that's all. It's like a spacesuit, we
Mm-hmm.
call it a spacesuit.
With
Uh,
stimuli.
that's it. So if we want to uh our mate, we have to meet them first on the mental plane, right? Because that's
Mm,
where the most of the work got to be done on the mental plane, right?
that's
So
right.
if the two, which is actually the four, right, balance, can ferret through all of that, then guess what we're going to meet next on the spirit plane,
Mm,
on the soul plane. My mistake. I always go out, then I come back in. We're going to meet next on the soul plane, right?
mm,
Then our souls meet and they merge and they transmute. Guess what we're going to meet next? The
mm,
spirit plane. So now we become one
One with the all.
with the all, the both of us together, the
mm-hmm.
male and the female aspects within us, within that spacesuit, within this skin, right? So it said, you were born in sin. No, we were born in the skin, right? But they take
Mm.
their religious dogma and have you believing that your skin is something that is a
Be
sin,
ashamed
right?
of, right.
This
The
is what they
flesh.
do.
Right.
So we must learn these letters that are uh they take it and they move these letters around, right? Just and if you can imagine taking letters and just taking your hands and moving this place and moving it that place, this is what they do. So we must get great understanding and stand firm that we must study, study, study
Study.
until we have to meet people on the mental level first. That's it.
And so, can I
Then
interject?
yeah.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I yield.
I just have a question for you at this point right now, or a thought. So, when someone says, "I want to meet," I think you mentioned meet my other half, or be whole by meeting my other half. You already. Would you say that we already have to be whole ourselves?
Yes.
Yes, we have to behold ourselves. That's why the four, right? Because your higher self, and there are two selves, right?
The high and the
Higher
lower.
self and your lower self. So until both meet together on that point, right? When you was just talking about the pyramid, at the top of that pyramid, which is you, the top, right? So until there's a there's a how I want to say there's an alchemical reaction on that because the brain is the secretion point, right? We know this. That's where the Christ consciousness is. That's where the Kundalini rises to and
Yes.
falls.
Round.
So
Yes.
until those come together, then there is no mate. There is
Mm.
no companion. There is no this. There is no that. But in all of that, there is. I yield.
Thank you. Awesome. Sister J.
Islam. Well,
Islam.
Islam's mothers. Y'all went in. Um, they went in. I really don't have much to add other than I don't want to repeat everything they already said. So
Awesome.
Hey, it is what it is. That's what it is. The mother said it.
No doubt. That was for yes, go ahead.
I just also wanted to say, Reem, what's interesting is, when I entered in my marriage, I thought I was whole.
Mm,
Yes.
Valid.
Only as mother said, there's the wheel amongst the wheel amongst the wheel. Just when you think you completed, level number 125,
mm,
then here comes 126. Like it's still,
Final boss. Yeah.
it's like this never ending Street Fighter game. And, you just thinking that you just completed the level. You think you coming in boss status. You think he's boss status, or he think, everybody thinks they're complete. And then there's the unity of you and this person that creates a person, an entity. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
kind of like a business entity. So we create a whole new identity together. You know
Yes.
what I mean? And we got to be conscious of that you come in, you think you know who you are, he thinks he know who he is. And then when you get together, then there's this whole person that's created. And you got to like that person. You got to like that baby that you and that person creates together.
Yes.
So I
mm.
just want everyone to be aware. Don't go in no relationship thinking you know it all, yo. Don't go. I warn you. The ego has to be put to the side. This
Yeah,
is where at home is where you take your shoes off.
Mm.
That's where
yeah,
you take your shoes off. You
Right.
yeah.
know, that's supposed to be our safe space to not show off and show out. I had to convince my husband. He knew I was powerful. I was his Lauren Hill poster for a second too. Even though even though he was the Al B. Shore the chicks poster too, right? So in that, he thought he liked all of that until he got with me and realized, man, you too strong. And
Mm,
so he knows what he's needed, but to be in it is a whole nother experience.
That's
And
right.
so I want to tell everyone that we have to learn how to make home our space where our stage names and
mm,
everything that we become online and everything we become in the world and to the public has to be, your shoes have to be taken off at home.
mm.
This
Mm.
that needs you are not, I am not Siasia at home. And
That's
that's what
right.
I have to learn. I cannot be. In fact, I got to be my mama's baby when it comes to this man. I had to learn that in my relationships over time, obviously, because in these names we have egos, right? And
Yeah,
this
Yes.
is what we've done for each other. Red pill, you
yeah.
already know, bro.
Yes.
Y'all
Yeah.
sisters out here, and your partner's looking at you like, if you don't sit the hell down, you are not in performance right now.
Hmm.
Only when I get in trouble do I hear the name Red Pill.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
wanted to add. I wanted to
It's
add
it's
this.
it's performance based, and I just wanted to say that this is
Yes.
where the curtain closes at home, and for our families. Again, we have, because they resent us for being on stage with them. So we learn
Mm.
that this is where
Yes.
we go back to our surnames, we go back to our family. Let them call us by our names. Let them have that. Let them have something sacred to them for what they remember, while still respecting who you've become for yourself, but at least have a space where you take off your shoes and provide that balance. So
So
I
are
just
you
wanted to
Oh,
saying
part
are you
Islam.
saying pet names in the house?
Islam. I
that.
wanted.
Right, what's up?
Is
What's going
is
on?
Pookie is Pookie Bear being are you co-signing that?
But
I'm,
Yeah,
I'm,
I,
I
I
think I
wanted to
think
say
I think
something.
Pookie Bear is safe. I mean,
Pookie Bear.
No doubt. No
as
doubt.
long as she know the other entities, and they know the other. It's just that's the marriage part about
Yeah,
tapping into the whole self about who you are, and respecting and
That's
honoring that, and them
beautiful.
growing in that. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
I
beautiful.
wanted to give another key for
Yes.
people to use in going into relationships, because it, with the sister speaking, it really sparked a thought. Um, I think the one of the a good key is to do not a horoscope. I just want to say that out there. Not a horoscope, because when you think of horoscope, that's just something you look online and say, I'm a Libra, he's a Leo. Are we compatible? Not
Right.
that. Not that. I'm talking about a natal chart. All right. I'm
The
talking
real
about
one.
a natal chart because earlier we spoke about progressing with the planets and with ourselves. And with these the natal chart, which is different from a horoscope,
Right.
please don't take that and say she said do her horoscope. I did not. Do not. But with the natal charts, they show you now and in the future, you know, and it show your mate now and in the future, and then
Mm.
it show you two together, and the some of the difficulties that y'all may go through, and and then you have to look at this and say, am I willing to fight this battle for to be with this individual? Am I willing to go this step? Am I willing to stick in it? You know, that's something a lot of people, they like it at the beginning. They like what it looked like. They like what it feels like. But then when you get down and you get personal, as Mother Rod said, we're not our sun signs, especially at home. You're your moon sign. You're your
Mm.
moon sign at home. You're your emotional side. The sun is like the queen said, is the stage. That's your
Right.
stage. That's where you get stage name. And then you out here and people see that. And of course with your rising as well. But at home, you're your moon sign. That's a whole different person, maybe from where he or she met you, which most likely you were in your rising side when y'all met, because that's how it goes. But
Interesting.
yeah. So the reason you're rising, because rising is really just the way you are when you really don't really know the person, but you know, like, okay, this just gonna be my work. You know, maybe you met him at
Right.
work, so this my work. This my work personality, right? But that's not, you know. And then your moon sign is when you at home, like you said, when you take your shoes off. That's your moon sign. That's a total different person. People at work don't know that person. People outside don't know that person. People that's not close to you intimately don't know that moon sign. So that is something that, you know, you can use if you like. So I just thought about that. But you know, to each his own. I think the best thing that was said was just really getting to know each other mentally first, spiritually, and knowing yourself. Having a mate is nothing if you don't even know yourself. So know yourself and be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself when you get into relationships with another individual. Islam.
Islam. Man.
Brother, can I add before you close out? This
Yes.
is
Yes, you
hot. This is
can.
hot.
Yes, you
This is
can.
hot. This is thank you for the mental stimulation. You know what I mean? This is awesome. So the sister C Asia, she mentioned something that was very poignant to me, that stuck with me. So we don't look, you know, we got to understand the mission, right? So once whoever or whomever you connected to, spiritually, socially, whatever, they have to understand your mission, right?
Yes.
So I can't be all willy-nilly with you when you got stacks of books on the table, you trying to study, and I can't, right? Because then there's going to be an argument. Oh,
Right.
you doing this and you doing that.
You're getting away of the mission.
Yeah, you're getting away from it to be taking it away, because we get downloads, like Mother said, we get downloads from the universe, right? And that
Yes.
might be the time that we get in those that that's gonna push that fire, right? That's gonna push us where we need to go. So we got to understand the mission. We all, like you said, we got. You remember Mission Impossible, that show, right? You got the mission,
Mm-hmm.
chose the people, right? And then after that, he burned the
The
insurance,
message,
right?
it was
Because it's
self-destruct.
sacred. So we got to start looking at our energy as sacred, right? And just not
Mm.
be leaking energy to each and every one, right? So when you find your mate come who you manifested, right?
Right.
You did this, you manifested this, comes to you, you you know, they say, oh, that's the person, oh, that's right for me. I get butterflies, right? I got butterflies, right? That's not the person for you. It's not. Like Jay Bay mentioned, it's going to be straight like you knew each other throughout aeons, right? It's that. I remember you. I This
For
is what it is. Cause there's a connection there on the soul plane, right? Because you mentally, we've fought battles. All of us have fought battles, right? And some of them are similar.
Mm-hmm.
So we can relate, right? Some of them, like the sister said earlier, you can't even put them into words, right? You can't, because
Mm.
until you experience it, there is no word, because the word was manifested into this flesh, right? So we can't do it, right? So we must continue. You will see the signs and the symbols of your mate. Believe me, it will be there, blatant, right? Now, whether they see it or not, that's a different story. But for you, you will see them. And yeah, we don't want no butterflies, because that's out of the cocoon, right? It's free. That's not for
that
you. It's
that's the that's the attraction to the rising body. You're like, I'm attracted to them
Right.
for their arising, what they look like, but that's not necessarily what is right in both energy, and modalities of the soul or the energy of the universe. And so one of the things we shouldn't force things either. Like I think someone mentioned that, and you just go by the science. You meet someone, you with them 3 months. That's a 90-degree angle. They show you a little something that you may or may not like, because we don't want to talk about the things we don't like. That's why we're not going to get into this brother thing, I guess. So we kind of like skip right over there. We're going to talk about the good stuff with as we relate to our sons and our husbands, because husbands mean just that. They bind the house. That's what
Yes.
it is. So because we establish those children that are going to go into society. So it's an important duty. But what you do is 3 months, 90-degree angle. You see a little something. A lot of us ignore it. Now we get to 6 months, right, in that relationship, and then that's a 180 polar reflection. So that thing that you saw now is full reared their ugly head, and then we try to say, oh well, I'll work with it, I'll make it work, I'll change him, he'll change me. No, none of that. You need to pay attention to that, not accept it just because society says that this is what you're supposed to do or whatever. You got to touch with your soul and your work and your duty when you came down here. So now you get to 9 months. Well, what's 9 months? 9 solar months. That means that you and him together in the relationship has created a baby. It doesn't have to be a physical baby, but it is a thing. It is a acceptance of your relationship. So be careful with that and be true to yourself.
Mm.
Right. And don't go with the constructs that you need to, do something other than that.
Wow.
Yes, the math, all of it.
I want to say, and I'm sure that I'm speaking for the Moors in the audience, that you know, this is our love language, you know, being able to have a healthy conversation with our divine reflections, and being fed by the mothers, you know what I'm saying? As a son, this is something that my soul needs. And I'm very thankful and I'm very grateful to be in each one of your presence tonight, and to have this conversation and to communicate with you, and to have a clear communication, because if it was anything, it was clear. We didn't have to do jumping ropes and work around things, so definitely thank you. The audience wants to know if each one of you wonderful women have a class, or do you do any type of teaching, because there are members in the audience who would love to be a student in those classes.
All right.
Um, well, I personally don't at this time. I used to. Red, you know that. Always has something going on.
Yes.
But more on hiatus. I will say that on August 16th weekend, again getting back into. Look, I live in North Carolina now, and even in North Carolina, the people don't know about trail rides.
Yes.
They don't know about trail rides. And
Mm.
trail rides is one of our partakings of nature and enjoyment and even self-sustainability, where our people
Yeah.
take their horses
Yeah.
and they go on trail rides and they do rodeos and they do line dancing and they do bonfire
Yeah.
and they are out in the sticks
Right.
having a
Element.
good the elements and having a good time. And then what you see is at these festivities, these trail rides, you see our people with trailers and tractors. They're very self-sufficient, right?
Very.
And they very pickup trucks, haystacks in the back, F-350s. And so they are actually the people that you're afraid of in whiteface.
Mm,
They're
got it.
Mm.
they're patriots,
Right.
okay? So and very conservative, right? So well, I say all that to say August 16th weekend. We're going to be camping in the Blue Ridge Mountains in the tents. Have your tent ready. Hit me up, Casia17 on Instagram, and we're gonna do that on Friday, and on Saturday we're gonna be at the trail ride in the Western North Carolina, and then on Sunday, and then all that's gonna be in reverence and ceremony in the Blue Ridge Mountains for our people. So just holler at me on Instagram.
I
At
gotta
Casia.
bring my own horse.
No, you ain't got to bring your own horse because
Oh,
I'm not. We're attending to the after party once the people start getting crunk after the trail ride, and then they start gathering and they have their live performances. But everybody need to get into that because the reality is you're running to Africa, you're running to all these different places looking for yourself in these diasporas. And the reality is that you're afraid of your own state, you're afraid of your own country, you're afraid of your own land, you're afraid of your own culture. You have
mm.
yet to even scratch the surface of your own indigenous culture of this land. And a lot of it has to do with nature. So come on out August 16th weekend. Thank you, Red, for having me here. I appreciate you. The Peace of the Sisters.
Thank you.
Yes, it's really, yes, peace, love and peace to you. Listen, I can understand the backwoods activities you're talking about, so I might have to hit you up to get with it because my family's from the South too, and I really love that outdoors. And
Hey.
it's a beautiful thing. It really is. So, yeah,
Yeah, we
man,
gotta get you out here, Sister
we
Rob. We
got,
gotta get you in the South and give you that southern that southern treatment, that hospitality. Some beans and rice.
yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, my
Right.
family's from the South.
I know. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah, and that is another thing. Where Sister C. Asia mentioned, and maybe in the beginning, I don't know if anyone mentioned it, but when she talked about the what was it about being down in the South or with your family, and what actually is going down there. A lot of people have, as you mentioned, come up here and given all of that up. You've
Right.
got like, and then also the same with when I was talking to my father, peace and blessings be upon him. He was telling me about like our land. We have a actual family graveyard on there. That's how all back to the 17s,
Right.
right? It's actually physically there, secured in the land. And and I'll be talking to him, and it's just interesting. It's just very interesting for us to go back to that mindset. Now, I don't know if it can be in the South with the destruction that's going on, but we're going to find a way to live that way because that's how we sustain ourselves and live off the land.
Wonderful. Also, if there are any social media handles where you could be found and
Oh,
follow
yes,
that,
that's the point. Yes, excuse me.
that's
I sent
something
you
that
an
they want to know.
itinerary. If you could put it up on one of the first, it's just all of what we do on the RV Bay Go to Class platform
Okay.
because we have first Sunday. We're love the fact that Sister J is actually doing the Circle 7 Sunday spiritual classes on that platform, and Sister Karima does Enlighten Asiatic on the third Monday, and myself I do a Sister Standing on Law on the third Sunday, and then every Wednesday we do civics on that platform. RV Bay go to class platform. So RV Bay go to class at gmail.com is the
Okay.
email.
I'm gonna
And
pull it up right here.
what's interesting though is that we're talking about the the English and how we came over here. Well, I'm getting ready to start on the civics anyway, a class where we are showing improving all of that. And that's going to be starting this Wednesday.
Okay. Well, here's the schedule. Here's the itinerary right here.
Yep.
Let me take the scroll
Don't think
off.
I missed it. You can snapshot that. And there's separate emails as well on the Circle 7 Sunday class. You got Circle 7 Sunday at gmail.com. And you got RV Bay Go to Class at Gmail for the Wednesday. And the Sister Standing on Law. And then you've got Enlighten Asiatic at gmail.com. And on the third Thursday, we do have the Sons of Allah. Well, Ms. Raheem, my son, and Cujo, they do that on YouTube because this platform is on the GoToMeeting platform. So we have something,
Indeed.
You talk about unity and sisters. We have something we try to have something for every, as many aspects as we can in this great sharing of information.
Indeed. Appreciate that.
All right.
Okay. Um, yes. Sister Jay and Sister Karima.
Yeah, so like the mother just mentioned, every third moon day, DEY, right? Uh, it's Enlightened Asiatic with myself, KAREEMAH BEY. It is a I teeter on the adept. And sometimes I just go full faith and credit, head first into it. Uh, that's what we do. It's totally esoteric, but it's it's where I am.
Indeed.
So everybody that comes to that class, they are where I am because they bring their portion, and that's how we build in that class. I am so thankful for the mother for creating the platform from the publications, right? So she's growing like tentacles, and also I I teach on the Clock of Destiny for the Clock of Destiny College. Uh,
Dope.
those are mid-level classes out of the 49. I teach the 13 to the 21. So I can be reached at enlightenedasiatic@gmail.com.
Okay. If somebody could put that on the private and I will share that with the audience. Give
I,
thanks.
I just want to say that platform. I meant to mention this as relating to what Sister Queen Ciaja said is that yes, I came off of a hiatus also because we did those classes at New York for 12 years, and then so then you come back in it because I think the time is now for us to continue to sojourn and share what we can to assist.
Indeed.
And,
Indeed. And
and I'm glad the sisters we all come together.
I will
So
yeah, I'm gonna
yeah,
talk.
so
I'm
yeah, so
sorry.
can I add? So there
Yes.
is a 25 contribution for Enlightened Asiatic, but don't let that deter anyone because off of your energy that is reciprocated. That is just a barrier for the trolls, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You can't be letting everybody in on the information. So, but you have to bring something, right?
Right.
Can't I can't be it has to be reciprocated. That's the natural orders of things, right? So,
Indeed.
and also Mother Roz Mariah Bey is a publisher. We often forget that. So she publishes a lot of books that I could not take from the places where I've learned, right? So as I remember these books and I see them online now, she prints them for me, right? So that's the give and take of all of this. I give the information where I've learned, and it's we keep it going like that because we are rebuilding the halls of Amenti as
Yes.
and the Library of Alexandria, right? Which we know is still in Washington, D.C., right? The Library of Congress. So we're gonna have to take these books, and because when we come out the other side of this, there's gonna be we gotta teach certain things we have to teach.
Yes, indeed. Sister J.
Islam. Um, I just want to say thank you for having me here. I am just so overwhelmed at the energy that I received on this platform. I thank Mother Roz for inviting me and actually pushing me to do it because I was like, no way, and she's like, why not? And I'm like, I'm nervous. I can't be talking to people like that. And so, and she just said, just be yourself, and that's the only thing that I can do.
That's
And so
right.
I'm just so honored and appreciative. I do do a Circle 7 class. It is based off the Circle 7 Holy Quran. The class is the way that it is outlined is I actually send you questions once a month. And at the first Sunday of the month, we come together and we go over those questions because I wanted to make the platform as more of a study group than like a teacher student type
Right.
thing, because we're all learning and we're all building together. So yes, I read this, but you did too, and so with that class, not only do we build together and we go over the questions, but also we do definitions of words in each chapter and etymology of each word so we can really understand what we're reading. And so it's a beautiful class. It is free and open to all. You know, just the same as Sister Karima said, yes, it is free and open to all. But, if you just, if you come in there and just trying to be crazy or something like that, we will kick you out because it is open and it's a public platform. We do get people that just, want to do whatever. And so
Right.
we'll get kicked out.
Wanderers.
Yeah, exactly. And so this class is really built for anyone that's trying to just learn themselves, just learning themselves, focus on self, building on self, because that's what the Circle 7 really is about, is teaching you to be yourself. And everything, every scripture, I don't care what religion you are in, they all teach you to learn yourself. Man, know thyself. So
Yes.
that's just really what the class is about, learning yourself. And we use the Circle 7 to that. And we go through every chapter. We are currently on chapter 26. And again, like I said, I'll send you questions because I want you to be involved. I want you to actually do your study before you get there. Um,
And how
and
can they find your class, Sister
sure,
J.
you could just send an email at circle7, what is it? We're going to circle 7 Gmail. Yeah. All right. Circle 7
Sunday.
Sunday. Circle 7 Sunday at gmail.com. And I just want to quote, it's circle and then the number 7. Circle the number 7.
Okay.
There you go. Circle
And
7 Sunday at gmail.com. And then actually I'm going to write this in the chat so you can have it.
Sister Kareema's email as well.
All right.
And can you
No,
put?
I'll write Mother Roz as well.
Thank you, sis.
Is it RV Go To Class at Gmail?
Yeah,
All right.
go to class. Red pill. I was looking at when I started to do this. It's been a couple of years, if that, because I first did astrology course. And I saw like there was Zoom, and then there was Go To Meeting platform, which was
That
kind
was
of
the new one. Yes,
that
yes.
was it, yeah. And I took it, I took it because when we were at New York, we always said, "Are you going to the meeting?" We never said, "Are you going to?" You know, this is what we just said. You're
Right.
going to the right, and I said, "Okay, that was a sign for me." I said, I'm going to do the go-to meeting, one for the at 125th Street, Intellectual Harlem, as they called it, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was
That's
glad to
right.
actually. When I look back, I'm honored to have even been a part of all that. You know, to been there, to have been there.
Ms. Raheem said that you got pictures from back in the days of me
We
and Blue.
do of you,
Yeah, we
and
got published that.
I am going to definitely send some to you. You
I
can
was
do
a
with them.
young whippersnapper.
You sure were. I just found one today that I had on the end of a class. It's like a 44-minute because we have RV Bay go to class YouTube now, and we just it's not monetized or anything. It's just to put up certain things, and
Yes.
one of them was put up, and on the ending thing that there's you.
Oh yeah, that's what's
You're
up.
in a couple of them. In fact, you're there with a whole bunch of other brothers. It's what's his what's
Was it
his name?
Cheyenne?
Well, Cheyenne Cornell and what's the brother? He's in Florida now.
I see her.
Yes, I see her.
Yeah.
Y'all all are sitting there. Cheyenne and Cornell were doing a class, but at one point, but it's you, Asir, Ali,
Hmm.
a few. You'll see.
Beautiful, beautiful.
We'll send them to you.
So I want to end this by saying that a part two is definitely needed. You know what I mean? I consider this getting our feet wet. You know, I'm gonna have to bring Blue Pill on this one. The second one, we bringing Blue Pill on the panel, and we're going to have more questions, of course. But this was definitely a classic. I want to say words can't describe the my thanks for what has been created. You know, we did this in faith, in good faith, and it's
Yes.
definitely something that has been proven to be, it showed me walk in faith, good brother, because wonderful things will happen. um Thank you.
Red,
Uh-huh.
I want to give you your flowers too. You know,
Hey.
while we on it, I want to share with you that I see your beauty and I see your change and your maturity
Thank you.
and your process. And just thank you for your contribution, you and your brother, for being strong. Because let me just say this real quick, and this is for all of you brothers, because it's many of you. The pills attract this type of man, right? That
Yeah.
have seen the transformations in the cities from
Yeah.
New York to Chicago, and y'all have endured those pains with our brothers who have taken a lot of loss of their comrades, and watching for our men watching their cities. Our brothers are patriots, right? For
Mm-hmm.
our men to watch Brooklyn change the way that it has, for our men to watch
All
Chicago change
right.
the way that it has, all of it, Atlanta. I want to give hugs and love to all of you for being patient through your process, for changing, for allowing the women to knock you upside your heads, and for the turbulence that you've endured with our mouths, our attitudes, for you having to check yourself, check yourselves. I know what y'all been through. We can imagine, right? So
Right.
I want to give you your flowers for your process. I want to give Blue his flowers for his process. I want to give all the brothers that's on the check-in that understands the process, your flowers for everything that you've been through and your pains and your storms. And thank y'all. Thank y'all for still being on the line and still doing this work, all of you. So I just wanted to, just recognize you, Red, and tell you I see you. And I
That
see
means
all your
everything
brothers
to
that are
me.
doing. Yeah, no doubt.
Yes, that means everything to me because we do this in the shadows. This is our shadow work,
Yeah.
and acknowledgement and appreciation is all we, is we don't even ask for it, but it's our love language. So to
Hmm.
be recognized and to be seen
Yes.
is priceless.
And
And
sisters, don't get on this bandwagon with this divine feminine so much where we abandon our men. Do not get so much on this wave where we allow the trickery of that public circus try to
Right.
trick us into leaving them behind. That is not an option. Our men stay with us. They're riding this wave with us. They're transforming and they're coming out of the spell that they were into. You know what I mean? Understand that we were all duped into some type of mindset and they are going through their process. Okay? Do not abandon our brothers for the shit show going on that television. That has nothing to do with us and our family business and affairs, and we're standing on it.
Thank
Period.
Said. Well
Well,
said.
well said. So,
Did
sister, you said,
Hold on, real quick. I'm sorry.
all right.
Do y'all hear that bomb?
That's the end.
Bomb go off.
that's the bomb for what she just said.
Oh, word. Okay.
But please continue.
That's a fire. So the sister said we can't get so caught up in the divine feminine that we forget the divine masculine, right? So
Yes.
we're still talking about ourselves, right? Because there are some males who are actually divine feminine and vice versa. So
Right.
we cannot forgive them. We must love ourselves. Once we love ourselves, we will love our brothers. And go back to the chapter 25, the covenant of the Asiatic nation, right? So we have to, when our sister and our brother needs us, we have to be there. So, brother, I want to close out. When I opened up, I read what is on my flyer for Enlightened Asiatic class. It says, does not wisdom call out? Does not understanding raise her voice? At the highest point along the way where paths meet, she standeth. And this day, DEY, on this moon day, brother, I honor you with you meeting her where she stands. Okay. I honor you with this. This is great.
Honest.
This is, yes. So,
Thank you.
honest to you.
Indeed. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. Means a lot.
Yes.
Indeed. You know, so with that being said, you know, I don't want to say goodbye because there is no goodbyes until we meet again. You know, until we meet again, which will be very soon. We don't want to. I don't want to. You know, we ain't gonna drag this out and come back together after the election or something. We'll be back together very soon. Trust me.
Right. Thank you. Thank you much for inviting me here and
No doubt.
all of us here. Beautiful meeting, Sister Ciesha, and to Jay and to KAREEMAH BEY. You know, it's a pleasure to
Thank
be
you.
here. So, yes.
High honors for you all. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sister. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
bringing your energy and that fire, and we just love it. And it came together like a puzzle. We all came together. Each piece of the puzzle came together and made it just so perfect. So Islam.
Thank you, Queen. Islam sisters.
All right.
Peace, Red. Peace of the family. Peace of the chat. Y'all travel safe and in harmony.
All right.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. So we're gonna end this off with Red and Blue Purple like Prince by the 44 Tops. All right. A
Hey.
little bit of soul music to get you riled up, you know what I mean?
Oh,
So with that being said, let's go to the music, guys. Peace.
let's go.
Stay.
Peace.
Red, blue, purple light. Red, blue, purple light. Friends, facts. Red, blue, purple light. Friends. Red and blue, purple light. Friends, facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the fools are closed. The Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land, focused on the ego. Then I opened my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. We gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts. Peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light to the family. Peace, love and light to the family. Red, blue, purple light
to this day. To this
Red, blue,
day.
purple light. Friends, facts. Red and blue, purple light. Friends. Red and blue, purple light. Friends, facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to Melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land, focused on the ego. Then I opened my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. We gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts. Peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light to the family. Peace, love and light to the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.